Welcome back to the Every F and FF podcast. Here.
This is our musical podcast.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna go into it like the dun 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 dun.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Look what you did.
Oh no, I did it wrong.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
That guitar doesn't have enough strings on it for Curtis to play at flamenco.
That's true.
Every F and FF podcast. That's where we are. That's what we're doing. That's who he is.
We did it.
We did it. I'm Curtis Ware.
I'm Carl Germ.
I'm Alex, the producer.
And we have a host, guest. What? You're the guest. We're the host.
No, he's the host now. It's
You're
fine.
the host. We're the guests. Who are you?
My name's Adam Payne, and I am Bartlett, Illinois' biggest Solar Bear fan.
Aw.
Well, that just goes to show that you have very poor taste, my friend.
That's why I'm on the podcast. It's like a John Waters fan club thing.
Hell
What's going
yeah.
on?
John
Oh,
Wooders.
man.
John Waters.
Yeah, Philadelphia, John Waters.
Don't you take his name in vain.
Oh, my Lord.
I literally have an autographed poster of John Waters on above my desk
That's amazing.
That's so
that
cool.
I'm looking at next to artwork that Drip made. Shout out to Drip.
Oh, fuck yeah. Shout out to Drip. Drip's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Come on the
Yeah.
podcast, Strip. Defend yourself.
Cool.
It's a
So
great
what,
idea.
Yeah.
what are we doing this week, boys?
Yo, this week we are going to Wutai, baby.
Hell yeah.
We're going to the far west of the map? Yes.
Yeah, the West.
Yeah,
But
farthest
first-
west you can go.
Farthest west you can go.
But first.
But
Who the fuck is Adam?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
right. Let's talk about Adam.
This is why the listeners should care about Adam. Here are all the reasons.
Yeah, you have to tell us.
Sure, cool. So my name's Adam Payne. I play bass guitar in the live band for Night of the Round. Justin Taylor is kind of the mastermind behind that band. He was just on the podcast a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I play bass guitar in that band, and I also work with a Chicago-based chiptune collective called Bit by Bit Chicago. So
Right on.
that's I put Curtis and Alex up a few times. I had shows there where they've played and stuff. So
Indeed.
I'm very much chiptune adjacent as well.
Right
Hell
on.
yeah.
Right on.
Even your fold-out couch is deep dish.
I would also like to nominate Adam for my best dressed friend as well.
It's very fresh.
Incredibly
accept
fresh.
Yeah, I'm looking at
I
him on
accept
Skype.
these
Right.
accolades.
I'm looking at him on Skype right now. He dressed up like in a tuxedo for this interview. I'm like,
It's true. It's true.
I'm underdressed.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you,
This
Curtis.
is a white tie
That's a very
event.
kind thing to say. So thank you.
Yep. Yeah.
You want to play some Final Fantasy?
Let's
Yeah.
dig into it.
Let's do it.
Let's dig into it like a big delicious ice cream.
previously on the Every FNFF podcast,
Yeah. We got Sid. We have a full party, guys.
Yeah.
We finally did it.
we got them all.
We caught them all.
We completed our decks.
We're Final Fantasy Master
All
now.
151 Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, right.
We-
Before the
have-
end of just 3.
We have every character in this game, and we're literally about to lose one of them for a little bit.
Yeah. You're never safe.
Before we get into what we're doing this week, should we talk about like some stuff that we missed before? Like I think last week we mentioned the week before that we were going to talk about Sid's dialogue when you go to get Vincent,
And we
then
didn't
we
do it.
just didn't.
That's right. All right, do it.
So during that whole scene, at one point, he says, "The air's pretty heavy here. How can you sleep in a place like this?" You know, whatever. It's not that exciting. When Yuffie says the thing about like boring story
Yeah.
number 1, what Sid says there is good. I'm not in the mood to hear long stories. Let's get the hell out of here. And then like I think he's making fun of Vincent for like him being like, "Oh, I have to sleep because of my sins or whatever." And he said,
Yeah.
"You shouldn't sleep just because of that. Sleep." And then my favorite one is like when you're when he says he's going to join the party, Sid says, "Hey, hold on, Sleepy. You're pretty damn pushy." I just like that he calls him Sleepy. He's like, "Come on, Sleepyhead."
That's great.
But I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else that we...
At the beginning of the last episode, we said that after the break, we were going to come back and tell everybody what Minnie did, and then just did not do that
damn.
at all. So yes, you can cast Minnie on the enemies. It works on the enemies with a 72% accuracy, which
Oh,
is an
wow.
interesting number. Weird thing, if you cast it on somebody who's already Minnie, it heals them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So wait, if
Sure.
if one of your party members is Minnie, I wonder if that works too.
I think maybe, it might be that if you cast it on them.
I'm only asking because today that happened to me where, and by
Really?
today I mean for today's episode.
Yeah. I
I
saw
got-
that there are only 2 enemies that can use Mini in this
Yeah.
game, and one of them is in this
Ooh.
section.
Hell
So,
yeah.
So that's it. We're on the tiny Bronco, sailing around the world, and we're
We're
gonna
on our
follow.
boat.
Yeah, our boat plane. We're gonna follow Yuffie's advice and go toward the west. We're gonna go to this. So it's like the continent's cool as hell too. It's just like a big
Archipelago?
archipelago
Is that-
thing. But
Yeah.
it actually is the size of the whole world. Like the whole it's like the west coast of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes all the way up and down.
Yeah, the map, like the geography of this game is challenging, I think,
Yeah.
Yep.
to someone with a grasp of the real world.
Yeah.
But like, you're right though. Like the continent itself it's kind of cool. It's like kind of mysterious looking in its
Yeah.
weird shape. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely has a unique shape compared to all the other ones.
Yeah.
And I think it's also important to mention that, like, we talked about a little bit last week where there's, like, more shallow water that you can
Yeah.
ride the Tiny Bronco on. So you can actually make it all the way back to, like, the first continent that you were on and get to, like, the Midgar Zalem and all of that. But it's kind of difficult to get through there because there's certain points where you'll,
You
like...
can finally go beat the Midgar Zalem.
Yeah, it's still kind of tough, though, when I went back and did it. But, yeah, like you have to just ride along on like the more shallow water. So sometimes you can come to a part where like you're going in the right direction, but then that just stops.
Yeah, and
like,
you have
see
to go
places that you
across
want
the
to
whole
go.
damn world to get to the other side. Yeah.
So it's pretty fun navigating on this thing because you don't have like
Yeah.
full agency over every traversal.
There's a lot of places you can go right now, actually. And
Yeah.
like I figure on the podcast we're gonna kind of keep it mostly in order.
Yeah.
But like you could really go most places now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we land on the Wutai continent, right?
Yeah.
And like, which is also pretty tight because like, there's no place to park the tiny Bronco near the city of Wutai.
Parking's a nightmare.
Yeah, yeah. You have to park it all the way on the southern end of the continent, and Wutai is all the way in the north end. And like, to get to Wutai, it's just a maze of like canyons and bridges, and you're doing all of this on the overworld map. Like, it's
Yeah.
not in its own area, but it's still pretty confusing. You can get turned around in there, and you can go down like pathways that don't lead anywhere.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And then when you finally make it to like the continent and you're walking around in like the canyonous area, when you walk on the bridge, it starts like shifting a little bit.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like it like makes you a little bit worried. You're like, is this gonna fall again?
Yeah, yeah.
And it like makes a creaking noise and stuff.
They
so
put the fear of bridges in you early.
Yeah, they-
in
You know
this
what's
game.
funny? So this is funny. The bridge thing about about the con. So every time I'm at IKEA, for any reason, I walk past like the framed canvas prints thing, and there's this giant like 34-foot, like that's just an exaggeration, but like a 10-foot by 10-foot print that is someone took of like a rope bridge across like a foggy like mountain bank. And every single time I see that, I think about this part of the game.
Really?
Every single
Oh,
time.
that's so
Like
good.
legit, it's like actual like because I told Curtis this is like really one of my favorite places in the entire game. Like,
Yeah.
this whole like little
Alex
weird
brought it
sequence.
up.
I know
He's-
exactly what
he's
you're
showing
talking
us
about.
the
Yeah,
picture.
it's
Oh,
like
that's so
and like and you'll see it in offices and stuff. Every single time I see it, it brings my mind to it. So listeners, Google that. It's pretty easy to find apparently. But
It's
now
called
hopefully you
Jungle
will-
Journey.
yeah, Jungle Journey. Let's reminisce together, guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Our jungle journey was a few episodes ago, but,
Well, that's true.
but it's cool. Here, when you get into the canyon, there's like a unique screen that's like very reminiscent of the first time we met Yuffie.
Yeah, so once we get so far into the canyon, we actually like go to a screen. right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and Yuffie kind of just runs ahead, and you're on this little screen. She does like a T-pose thing, and she like starts to stop you a little bit. And Aerith says, "What happened all of a sudden?" And Yuffie said, "I know this area pretty well. It gets pretty tough past here. Better get ready." And then Aerith, if you have Aerith in your party, she goes, something's fishy. You're not planning something sneaky again, are you? And she says, "No, it's really tough." And she
No,
Oh,
that's someone
no.
else.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I had
Cut
Vincent
that.
in my team, and Vincent says, "There's something unnatural in the way Yuffie's acting." Yeah. But like you were saying, somebody says, "There they are, catch them!"
Mm-hmm.
And two Shinra guards run in, right? Two
Yeah.
of the blue MPs, and Cloud's like, "Oh, Shinra," and Shinra like says, "That's not them. Those are the other guys from before." And so like they're not necessarily looking for Cloud right now.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking for someone, but again, it's like so many different like factions in this game that it's like, who could tell? It's like, oh, they're here. Let's get them.
And Vincent's like, what does this mean? You will explain later. That's so good.
Yeah, and Aerith says, Yuffie, did you by any chance? And she says, I didn't know. I had nothing to do with this one. And then Aerith says, this one?
Yeah, that's what Vincent says,
What do you mean by this one?
Yeah.
So you were up to something.
I like the Coen brothers should direct a Final Fantasy
This is
movie.
very
their
Coen
section,
Brothers.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it totally is.
But yeah, so the Shinra are like, just get him, and we get into a fight with the attack squad, right?
Yeah, I love what the Shinra soldier says too. He says, get them, grab them and ask questions later.
Yeah. And like, so we go into this battle, right? Like, and we've been in
this is so good.
plenty of battles, but there's like something ever so slightly different about this fight, right? So like, we have attack and item, but all of our other commands are just gone.
Yeah. Also,
Like-
I had Yuffie in my party when I got here.
Yeah.
And
so
in
did I.
in the battle, it's just Cloud and Aerith.
Yeah, I just
and
had
the
Cloud
only,
and Vincent.
and the only things I could do is attack and item. So there's
Yep.
these Shinra guards here, and it's just like, oh, I can't really do much of anything.
Yep. And like they also like have their guns, their like normal attack puts you to sleep.
Yeah.
So like you're just going to sleep, and then they blind you as well, so
Yeah.
you're missing attacks, and it kind of makes it into like a bit of a pain.
Yeah, I think they're called like squad attackers or something like that.
Mine says attack squad. But
Attack
that-
squad. No,
yeah.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. So they're like a level above the ones that we fought like countless times. And like Curtis said, they put you to sleep and stuff. So I just kind of started using the items that I had, like the consumable items. Like I used the
Right.
impaler, and I turned one of them to a frog, and I was like,
Yo, I at various points in this section, I kept looking for like, where the hell are my grenades? And like I have used them all, I guess. Like I
Yeah.
don't have any. I'm like, God damn it.
yeah. So those are definitely helpful in this part. But then after that battle, you're just back on that screen, and Yuffie's gone.
Yeah.
And Aerith says, "What's going on? I thought something was missing. My Materia's all gone."
Yep.
And then Barrett runs in and
That's
says,
who I am.
"Hey, we got a problem. Our Materia's all gone. Hey, where's Yuffie?"
Yeah. And Vincent just says, inexcusable.
And Aerith says she was probably eyeing our Materia from the beginning. It looks like she went north. Let's hurry up after her and get our Materia back.
Yeah, and that's what I think pretty much everybody kind of says some variation.
Yeah,
of
it's
that.
pretty much the same thing. So now
Good.
it's an interesting part of the game where like you've probably been relying on Materia a little bit
Yeah,
to some capacity. And now you're going through this like difficult part of the game. Like these enemies are actually pretty tough. And all you
yeah.
can do is attack and use items.
Yeah, I get a little bit of the feeling that maybe this is like, because I mean this part is optional,
Yeah.
but like the difficulty of it almost makes me feel like, hey, maybe do this on disc 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's still entirely doable. Like it's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And another important thing that I wanted to point out about that is the AP that you get from these enemies is insane. It's like the highest that we've gotten so far.
And you don't have any materia.
Which sucks, yeah, because it's like you don't have any materia. So like what I did in this part is I just equipped all the like highest kind of attack weapons that you can use.
Yeah.
Like on Aerith, I gave her the umbrella, which has like no materia slots but has really good attacks. So it's just like,
Gotcha.
oh, okay, well she doesn't have materia, but she can dish out some attacks here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing that I noticed is that Yuffie can only take 48 materia. So if you have more than 48, you actually get to keep the rest.
No way, really? That's awesome.
And there's a list of value in which she'll take them. And one of the reasons that like I feel like it kind of makes sense that this might be a disc 2 thing is that like there are materia on that list, like if you go look it up online, that you just couldn't have right now.
Oh,
You know,
okay, yeah,
like
that makes
Neo Bahamut Zero's on there. They're like at the top of the list. Like if you
Yeah.
have those, she'll jack them immediately.
Yeah.
And like all the way at the bottom is the underwater materia and like fire and
The
stuff like that.
Chocobo lore.
Yeah, like that's all like all the way at the bottom.
Chocobo lore. That's
Yeah,
right.
Yep.
the most useful of the materias.
It's like you could do some real Sephiroth fucking at baseball or whatever, like inside baseball action. Oh, whiff it at people.
I thought you said lore, like the history.
Oh yeah,
of
like the deep Chocobo lore. No, we're gonna be getting into that eventually. I
Oh
think.
god, yeah, we will.
The deep Chocobo lore.
Yeah. All right, so we good to move on?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
There's some interesting enemies on the
I was gonna
world
say,
map.
do you want to talk about the bizarre bug, Alex? Is that the one that you were
I-
googling?
I was giggling on streaming. I've started streaming this a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I was just giggling at some of the names of these places. There's a bizarre bug, which is just
Yo, the bizarre bug's an asshole, man.
Yeah.
it just
Like-
looks like
It's like a roach.
Yeah, looks like a roach.
But like it actually is kind of a fucking asshole if you fight it with a bunch of other enemies or whatever, and it gets the chance to like start attacking. It can hit all of your party members at once, and it like transitions into a flying mode, and it's kind of an asshole. It's kind of tough.
Doesn't it use a poison move too, like a toxic thing that can poison all of your party members
and do damage? Yeah. It can be kind of a
that always missed for me, but I think it's because of the accessories that I was wearing. I think there was like a lot of star pendants or something.
Yeah.
What about the big old tortoise boy on the beach? Did you see that?
I did not fight that.
So it's the Adam Payne.
Okay, I was like the Adamantoys. No,
it's similar to that. It's just, I mean, it's basically just a giant turtle with like tusks coming out of its neck.
Okay.
So it's like real mean looking, and its whole gimmick is just it always casts like barrier and stuff, so it has high defense.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
That sort of thing.
Literally means adamant hawksbill sea turtle
Cool.
in Japanese, I guess.
It also has Adam's name in it.
Indeed.
It also has the word ant in it. Oh. Which means it's part ant. Adamant. Yeah, so we eventually get to Wutai, right? Like the city of Wutai.
Yeah.
Which like it's like little sprite on the overworld map kind of has like Eastern inspired buildings.
Yeah.
Right? And we go into it, and it's like a nice little town. It's like real pleasant.
It's really nice. Yeah, I think
Like-
this might be like my favorite place in the game so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of like goes along with the other towns that don't have Maka reactors in them, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like every time we get to one that doesn't have one of these fucking shitty reactors, they're really nice.
Yeah.
It also
Yeah.
has like one of my favorite town themes also.
Oh, it's
Really?
so good.
The little like
Yeah.
there's some little counter melody in here. I forget what, but it has like a little almost like a chiptune.
Yeah. Ba-na-na-na-na. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good. It's very like traditionally Japanese inspired.
Yeah. And the town itself is like it's using all these like bright red structures.
Yeah.
Like it's very like kind of reminiscent of like a Shinto shrine or
Yeah,
something like
exactly.
that.
Yeah,
right?
there's
Yeah.
quite a bit of that too.
Right. Yeah, man, there's like literally a pagoda
Yeah.
in the back of the town.
And I think it's
Well,
like
yeah.
I think it's a reference to like an actual structure in the real world too, like the
Could be.
famous like 5-story pagoda.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, it's a cool little town. It's got like a little river flowing right through the middle with like lily pads on it and stuff. You know, it's
Very
nice.
tranquil.
Yeah. Yeah, we can just kind of run around and talk to some of the people here.
Yeah, the one woman standing there muses about the river a little bit.
Yeah,
Let me see if I can pull that up real quick.
I got it. You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
She says, "Life is just like a river. It flows from the large ocean of life and eventually returns back to it. Wutai is a historical place. There are some very unusual things you should see here.
Mm-hmm.
And the best unusual thing is the house full of cats.
Yes, the cat
It's
house.
just a house full of fucking cats.
Yeah. How, do you know how many cats are in there?
I don't.
I
Are we gonna play a jelly bean guessing game? Oh
Yeah.
wait, so you know how many there are?
I counted. I don't know how accurate it is. There might be some that I missed, but should I tell you? Or should
Adam,
we-
how many do you think that there are?
Dude, 11.
Yes.
Well, son of a bitch.
there's 11, and like or
Curtis.
that I that I counted.
I was gonna say 9, but
But the one that I like is just like up in a little crawl space. You can kind of see it just like walking around, and there's just a bunch of cats just
You
all over
can
the
access that crawl space later.
ooh,
Apparently.
yes, indeed.
place. Ooh.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's a blocked off house. Somebody screams at you if you talk to it and says, "This is my house.
Yeah.
No one gets in."
Exactly.
Just some other things like without going into every single one. and-
Yeah, there's a house with like
everybody.
a grandpa in there who thinks he recognizes you, and his,
Yeah.
his granddaughter's like, no, like you've never seen them before. They're just
Yeah.
strangers who barged into our house.
Yeah,
Like,
it was like
pretty
very
funny.
cute.
Yeah.
And like the people at the shops won't help you either. Like,
Yeah.
Yo, one of
everybody's
the
just like, nah, man, get lost.
Yeah, one of the shopkeeper's dialogue I fucking love, where you talk to him and he goes, "Oh, sorry, we're all sold out right now. What's this here? Oh no, that's a sample. Yeah, that's it, a sample. Sorry, come back later."
Yeah, I think it's like
It's like the whole wall is just like papered in weapons, man. There's just weapons everywhere, and he's like, "There are no weapons here. What, these?"
yeah.
Oh,
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Exactly.
in that vein, did you find Yuffie in the old man's house?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
you have to.
Yeah,
right?
that's part of
Do
the
you
like
have to?
critical path.
I
yeah.
think so.
Because
So-
I watched a walkthrough, and I think she somehow just skipped it and went straight for where she was hiding in the end.
Oh, really?
Oh, you might be able to do that. Yeah.
But so in the Grandpa's house, the little girls are like, oh no, like some girl.
When you first go in there, she's not there.
Yeah, she's not there at first.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
actually when you first walk into the town, you can actually see her across the river. There's like a bridge.
Yeah,
And she's
yeah.
kind of standing like towards the
Yeah,
center
and your
of
party
town.
goes, Yuffie!
Yeah,
like,
and she
screams at her.
just like kind of takes off.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So then you gotta chase her all around town.
Yeah, yeah. Do we want to do that one now, or do we want to just come back to it later?
We'll come back to it later.
Okay, cool. So the place in the bottom left, we've made it, y'all.
We finally made it.
The Turtle Paradise Inn.
Oh yeah.
Which I think we talked about one time on the
Yeah.
Cosmo Canyon episode, because there was a flyer for it there.
And I made a Coolio joke, but said it was a Snoop Dogg song instead. Because I don't know anything about hip hop.
You can't win them all, bud.
Not everyone can be a podcaster and know hip hop. Leave that to Jesse.
Illustrious podcast editor.
I think we proved last episode that we all don't know enough about hip hop.
Yeah.
That's why you always go with the Weird Al reference instead of the song that it's parodying.
Anyway, Turtle Paradise.
Turtle Paradise. Right outside of it is one of the 6 flyers that you need to talk to.
Yeah.
Flyers.
Yeah, so
Gritty.
the thing about Turtle Paradise is that there's a little mini game throughout the world. There are 6 flyers that describe Turtle Paradise, and if you talk to them all and come back here, you get a hidden item.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, and we talked about that before. Like, there's one that we found in the Shinra Tower.
Right. Well, we didn't talk about it while we were at the Shinra Tower.
Right. We
forgot.
talked
But
about
yes,
it revisionistly.
revisionistly. But yeah, and there was one at Cosmo Canyon.
Yeah. So inside the Turtle Paradise, you want
Ooh,
to talk
yeah.
about what we can
There's
get
some
into in here?
Turts.
Some turts.
Some Turks. Now we roll upon the Turks here. And it's fucking great because you actually have to like walk up to them to talk to them. Like they don't engage you.
They're just sitting at a table. Like the music is still the same. It's still the Wutai theme. And
Yeah.
you can go up and talk to like the bartender and like the guy who's there. And it's not until you talk to the Turks that their theme starts playing.
Yeah, right.
Look, man, I'm just saying, like, if I'm ever like traveling for work, I mean, that's the way it goes, right? Like, you're at a table with
Yeah.
your coworkers, right? Like, you're not hanging out just like chilling at this resort elsewhere. You're,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, we're here for business.
Yeah,
No,
you're
well,
We're
I
here
think
for
it's
shit.
the opposite here though, isn't it? Because they're like, "Yo, we're on vacation. Fucking leave us alone."
They're like definitely
I
trying to
thought-
avoid you.
I thought that they were being facetious about it. Like, maybe I misread that altogether. Like, I thought that they were being like, get out of here, piss off, we're on vacation.
Oh no, yeah, I really thought they were on vacation.
I
or
think they
whatever.
are.
I
I
guess,
think-
I'm the square here. Listen to Mr. Corporate America. over there.
They pull the same excuse once they, later when they talk to some shitty
Yeah,
folk, but
that's
we'll
true.
get to that.
But
They
yeah, so
also
we,
operate on punk time.
yeah, they fucking do.
It's only uptime.
So they say, or hey, if you talk to them, Elena stands up and is like, "You, how did you get here? Never mind that. I guess it's fate that brought us together. Get ready to die."
Yeah, she's ready to throw down.
and like,
She's a little more threatening this time,
Right,
Because last
and
time we
then-
talked to them, they were just gossiping about who they had crushes on.
yeah, I know. Was it the last time we saw them?
Yes.
It was, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Gongaga, yeah.
God, I love the Turks so much. I love Elena too. I always say this every time, but she's like the best.
Yeah, so like when she says "get ready to die," Cloud just like jumps over the table and like
gets in
in a
fighting
pose.
stance.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's like ready to throw down too, and like his party members come out and they're like, there's like a couple of seconds of like tension where like things are about to go down, and then Reno just says, "Elena, you talk too much."
Yeah, I know. And she's like, "What?" And he goes, "What are we doing way out in the middle of nowhere?" And she was like, "Well, we're taking a vacation, resting up from work." And I know he goes, "Now our vacation's ruined."
Another ruined moment.
Another ruined moment. It's ruined.
Yeah.
Shipwrecked.
And
Yeah. He says, "Even the booze tastes bad now."
it's so good, and she's just like,
Oh,
"Sorry."
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Um,
I love it. And yeah, and that they just sit back down at the table.
yeah, and then your party just like gets back together, and like you're just standing there, and,
And that's it.
Yep, and then you can still talk to them. And Reno says, "Drink, Rude. How long have we been a team? Being a Turk's been hard at times, but all in all, I'm glad I did it. After all, I got to meet a bunch of wing nuts like you." I just love the use of wing nut.
Yeah, I know. So good. Yeah. So, anything else in here?
Yeah, I mean, Elena says, "You're lucky, all right. Now get out of my sight. The next time we meet, I won't be so nice." And then if you talk to Rude, he says, "To the Turks. To Reno. Cheers."
Yeah.
Just leaving out Elena. It's kind of mean.
Well, I guess Anne's saying, right? But he's not here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I guess like I will talk about this NPC's dialogue here, where there's an NPC that's standing there that talks a little bit about the legend of there being like a water god in Wutai, and says it was a giant snake. But most people now don't believe in gods; they just believe in Mako energy. But there's some people.
We live in a world filled with Mako now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
But still giant snakes.
Yeah, we still have giant snakes though. We fought one very early on in the game.
Yep.
But yeah, maybe not quite a water god.
Swamp god.
Yeah, I was gonna say swamp god. It's our new sludge metal group.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you gotta. I remember the last time I saw an Instagram of you with those new pedals, man. Oh, sludgy,
Oh yeah.
delicious. Yeah. So
What are pedals but materia for the guitar?
That's a good point.
Oh, and aren't they just? Time, you've got fire.
The linked ones you have to have a patch cable for.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's also a shop here, and if you go into the shop, there's a treasure chest, and if you open the treasure chest, you get an MP absorb materia.
Yeah, which is really cool.
And Yuffie drops down from the fucking ceiling right behind you and just grabs it and runs away.
I don't fucking think so, buddy. Not today.
Yeah.
It's so funny too because she's just constantly been like always stealing from us and always like you can never really trust her, and like now we have nothing. And we get in here and like I should know by now because I've played this game so many times and she's done this so many times.
Yeah.
But that MP absorb one got me and I literally like laughed out loud because I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, I know,
Yuffie's
it's
so
so
good.
good.
Like now, after we know that you've stolen from us, now you want to steal more materia from us?
Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's a bunch of NPCs here. There's really only one that I think has like interesting dialogue to really go over.
Yeah, just in the town.
Yeah, they're near the pagoda on the screen to the west.
Oh, there's actually one
Okay,
thing
go ahead.
right here where outside of one of the houses here, there's a guy who says, Lord Goda, what is it? Godo?
I say Godo.
Yeah, it's Godo. Sorry, my brain just
Gordo, like from
Gordo.
Lizzie McGuire.
I was gonna say like the spiky guy from Kirby.
Yeah, Lord Godo is in this house. He used to be quite strong, but now all he does is sleep. Anyhow, for some reason, Yuffie's had a fondness for Materia ever since I can remember. She's always hung around places that she thought might have it.
Yeah.
This is kind of cute. Like, she's always been obsessed with
Right.
Materia.
But yeah, so on the next screen there's an individual, and I'm not gonna go through all of their text, but they're again kind of telling you the story of Wutai. And they say that the legend has been that there's 3 sets of guardians for Wutai. There's Da Chao, which is like the giant fucking statue. So like we haven't talked about that yet, and we'll talk about it after this little piece. But there's Da Chao, the water god, who we just learned about, the giant snake, and the 5 mighty gods. And the 5 mighty gods are 5 individuals who live in this pagoda, who is on the west end of town. And like they're like the human incarnation of the protection of the gods, right?
Yeah.
And then their next line is, but in that last battle, we didn't fare so well, so I guess our beliefs were only based on legend after all.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit.
Little depressing.
Ooh, yeah. Which I mean, that last battle with the Shinra, right? Like that's
Yep.
the one they're referring to.
Cool fact. The names of the 5 gods are Power, Speed, Magic, War, and Omni.
Of course, yeah.
Which is to say, all of the above, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, why wouldn't you choose that option?
Yeah, I
like
know.
that's clearly the best one.
Yeah. Sick.
And I think there's another little bit of lore just kind of about like Wutai and just their relationship with Materia if you go into the one shop.
Oh, sure.
And you'll if you talk to the person at the counter, she says, "I'm sorry, the sign outside says Materia, but there's almost no Materia left anywhere in Wutai. Listen, this is just a backwoods town. We don't have much to do with the Shinra, and besides, if we had a lot of Materia, Wutai would be a much more exciting town, but we don't."
But we don't.
Yeah.
Which, now they could have up to 48 more Materia than they had before.
Exactly.
Surprised they don't have any replicas for like souvenirs and stuff.
Which so we're gonna go here in a minute, but I just want to go ahead and say now. So the Da Chao thing, that's a giant, like a Mount Rushmore kind of thing behind the town, right?
Yeah.
So there's like the pagoda, there's the main square of the town, and then behind it is like this large mountain that has like these 3 gods like carved into it, which I guess is like maybe one god because they just refer to it as Da Chao.
Da
right?
Chao, yeah.
So and it's fucking badass.
Yeah,
looking.
it's really cool.
Yeah, it's fucking sick. It's like it's hard to describe, but it's like it looks like 3 gods or one
Yeah.
god with like 3 faces,
And they're very like I think inspired by like Buddhism. Like if you think of like statues
like,
that you might
like
see,
Hindi maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just that sort of that kind of statue they kind of look like.
Yeah. Super cool. So there's a house right next to the pagoda, right? And this is Lord Godot's house, and you can go in there, and that's cool because like it's actually like a pretty large house, right? Like it has like a little like courtyard in the middle
with a koi pond.
a little koi pond. It's like super cool.
Yeah, it's real tranquil.
You can just sleep in this house without asking anybody.
Yeah.
You just walk into one of the rooms and Cloud's like, want to rest? And I was
Yeah.
like, yes, I will rest in this man's house, whoever this is. Like I hadn't seen him yet or anything. I was just like, yeah, that's fine. I'll sleep in somebody's house that I don't know. Fuck
Yeah.
him.
And the interesting thing about this house too is there's like doors that and it's kind of like the paper walls that Japan has. And if you go up to one of the doors, you have to like open it, and there's like a bit of an animation where like Cloud stands still and then the door opens and like you have to wait for it and stuff. It like takes a little bit.
Right. But the other cool thing about this house is all the hidden rooms
Yes.
in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like several of the rooms have like little hidden doors that you can walk up to and go through.
Yeah, so there's the one in the room where you rest. There's like a poster on the wall, and if you're like from the angle that the camera is in, you can see a little hallway that's kind of coming from there. But it
Right.
doesn't necessarily look like something that you would really notice or think about.
Right.
But if you go up to that poster and hit the like interact button, the poster there kind of just flips up, and then you can walk into the hallway there, and you there's like a chest at the end of it.
Yeah.
Weird thing about these chests, like they don't look anything like the chests that we usually open.
No, they actually look like a stereotypical pirate treasure chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty dope.
So in this one is the magic shuriken,
Yeah.
which is a weapon for Yuffie.
Yep. Who is Amscrade, so she's not even around to use it.
Exactly.
That loser. But in the northmost room, there's a dude just laying on the ground, like T-posed out, right?
Yep.
Just like laying on the floor. And if you talk to him, he says, "Guga, what do you want?"
Yeah.
Which I guess is like an exasperated sigh or whatever. But it's like all caps, GOOGAH.
I just saw that and thought of like the Goo Goo Dolls when he was talking, because he keeps doing it. He does it like multiple times.
Yeah, he goes, "I don't have anything much, but you should be able to rest yourselves here. Make yourselves at home."
He says, "I want to wake up where you are."
He won't say anything at all.
So if you kind of continue talking to him, he'll say, "Yuffie, nope, never heard of her. Goo Goo."
He does say Gugo.
Yeah.
And if you continually talk to him, he's like, "You again. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I don't know her. Listen, I said I don't know her. There isn't anyone named Yuffie here in Wutai." And then he like actually stands up and will talk to you now.
Yeah.
And he says like, "Oh, I've never seen you before. I've been seeing a lot of Shinra soldiers around here, but you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?"
Yeah.
Like, oh, what, us?
Yeah.
Lord, like we don't have anything to do with Shinra. Absolutely not. And he just says, "I don't care who you are, but if you're in trouble with the Shinra, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I don't want the Shinra looking over my shoulder."
So he seems to think that the reason that Shinra is here is because of us.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because we just saw two soldiers who were like, "Hey, there they are. Oh wait, no, that's them, but it's those other guys."
Yeah, that's not them, but yeah.
Yeah.
The other ones, yeah.
But if you talk to him from more, you actually get some dialogue from Yuffie here. Did you?
Yeah,
know that?
yeah. She pops down from the ceiling and is like, "What's with you, you coward?" And
And he says Yuffie, so like instantly he's just like, "Yeah, I was lying about
Yeah, he knew,
not
yeah.
knowing who Yuffie is."
yeah. She says, "Oh, you're scared of the Shinra. Then why don't you just bow down and obey them like all the other towns? And these guys are the ones who are really fighting the Shinra."
Yeah.
Which, like, thanks, Yuffie, but
Yeah.
also, you fucking asshole. You stole all of our stuff to actually be able to fight them.
Yeah, it's like kind of nice and unexpected coming from her, because she's like, "These guys are actually doing something," and it's like, "Oh, thanks. Hey, wait, I'm still pissed at you."
But
Yeah.
also, like, wait a second, are we friends now? Is that where
Right.
we're at?
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like that, like, tenuous relationship with Yuffie just continues
Yeah,
to, like,
I love it.
we've always had it and probably always will.
Yeah, but anyway, he like cuts her off and says, "Shut up. What would you know about this?"
Then Godo says, "No kid like you's gonna talk to me like that. You keep acting like that. You ought to be ashamed of yourself." And she just goes, "That's my style. It's my business, not yours. Don't dictate what I should do." And he's confused by like the youngster hip speak, and he's like, "Style? Dictate?" Like, those are regular things, man. You should get with it. Those are that's not crazy.
Very reminiscent of the song.
He
Method
says,
Man.
"Why all those fancy words? Fancy words like style and dictate." They're both 2 syllables.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you should be able to handle it. But he calls her a rotten daughter, and she says he's a sad excuse for a father. And he just says, "Take your things and get out of here now. For the good of Wutai, we cannot stand up to the Shinra."
Hell yeah.
And that's that.
Yep.
Oh,
I think she like
that's 2 episodes in a row that we've had to stand there while people feud with them.
Yeah, just
like,
bickering.
Yeah, bickering, and we're like, oh man.
Mom and dad are fighting.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Sid and Shira.
But in this case, it's your friend is fighting in front of her mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right in front of you, and you're just like, oh man.
I know. They were just like,
I'm just trying to go to lunch.
yeah, I know. I just wanted to come over and get my N64 back. I don't really
Spent the night. We're just trying to go get some chicken nuggets before you take me home. Like, can we please get this over with?
Yeah,
Because she's 16 also, you know. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing about
She
it.
is the youngest character, right?
She
In the
is,
party?
yeah.
Yeah.
Should we stole all our chicken nuggets?
I do love Yuffie's relationship with the party. Like at this point in the game, though, they're like not sure what to do with her because
Yeah.
she's like trying to act like a shitty kid, but she clearly isn't one.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like she's trying to be delinquent and punk about it, and she's kind of not really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She
It's
sucks
like she's
at it, you know.
she's too delinquent to be like one of like. It's hard to say because like she is fucking us over right now, right? Like she's like literally like giving us a really hard time, but at the same time, it seems like she's very motivated by something.
Yeah.
And like is actively trying to do something and not just be a delinquent, right?
Yeah, she's not just being shitty for the sake of being shitty.
Right, she's not very good at it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
she's like it's clear that she has righteous intent, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly, yeah. And it's kind of cool.
Something
she, like,
no punk has ever had. Said it on the air.
Yeah, surely.
Come at me, front bottoms.
Take that, Brian Sella. Come on our podcast and defend yourself. But I like how she like runs off and runs down the hall, and like Godo like chases after her and then stops when she goes into the next room, and he just shakes his head and slowly walks back to the room.
Yeah.
Like that's a nice little moment.
In the eastern room, there's another hidden door that you can get the hairpin in.
Yeah. This one's a little more obvious. Like you can kind of see the outline of like light coming through the hidden trap door, and then you hit it and it spins, and then you can
Right,
go in.
right.
Another one of those weird chests. Has the
yeah.
hairpin in it, which is a red 13 weapon.
Yeah.
This area has a lot of weird hitboxes because I saw it, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't activate it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I watched that stream on this part coming up. But so at this point, you can go find Yuffie in the different areas, right? Like now we
Yeah.
can go around and look for her.
Because I didn't actually have this entire interaction. I didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just saw him sleep. I saw her dad's just snoozing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Then I was like, no one's here. No one will talk to me.
Did you have the one in the? So you had the one behind the folding screen, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I just found her there.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's what I did next. Is I went
Yeah.
to the first house in town where there's that old man who's like, "Oh, hey, it's you again," and the daughter's like, "No, that's just some weirdo, Grandpa.
Yeah.
Someone who just walked into our house without asking or knocking."
And I think when you talk to that little girl again,
No, it's literally the second you walk in the door. You
Yeah,
don't even
yeah,
talk to her. She just goes, "Oh no, more weirdos."
yeah, I love that.
Yeah. But like there's like a little folding screen in their house that before was closed and
Yeah.
is now folded out, right? And if you go up and talk to it, Cloud just like pushes it aside, and Yuffie's like hunched underneath it with her like hand on her head, like trying to hide from you.
Yeah, I think she's moving a little bit too,
Yeah,
like trying
she's,
to
like,
be
wiggling a little bit.
inconspicuous. Yeah.
Yeah. And she just says ... and then jumps over you and runs out the door.
And I think she like runs all around the room, like very comically,
Yeah,
and then runs
yeah.
out the door.
That's so good. Now I don't know if there's any other places, but I went right to the jar after this.
Yeah, that's what I
think
did
that's
as
the
well.
next
Yeah.
one. Yeah. So outside Turtle Paradise, there's like a big like, what is that? A vase?
It's like a big like pot,
Yeah.
like a Legend of Zelda type pot.
Yeah,
sort
but
of thing,
large.
Like, but yeah, like a
An
huge one.
urn.
Yeah, maybe like a large urn.
It's time for the urn.
It's time for the urn, Grandpa.
Yikes.
Sorry, Adam.
We can cut this if we want to. Should we explain
No,
time for the urn?
We can.
Carl, explain time for the urn.
I forget the actor. I think what show was he in?
I don't know.
think
I
he was,
just saw
like, in-
you post about it, and then I thought it was the funniest thing.
There was some famous actor recently who was just talking about like old like racist people, and he was just like, like we love them and stuff, but they're actively making the world a better place. So I think
No,
it's
a
just
worse place.
a worse place. Yeah, they're actively making the world a worse place. So at the end of the day, it's just time for the urn. Like they just need to die and like.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know. And so Carl was like, I think I'm going to internalize time for the urn. And that was like so good.
It's just infested my brain and I can't stop thinking about it.
I've at work started saying I'm relaxed of it or whatever.
It's
like
so good.
When my boss says something, he's like, hey man, will you do this? And I'm like, I'm relaxed of it.
Yep.
Like I'm resigned to it. But yeah, so there's a large urn and it's time for it. It's right outside of a turtle paradise. And it's like wiggling around.
Yeah.
Right? It like clearly something is inside of this urn.
Urns shouldn't wiggle.
Urns should not wiggle as a general rule.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's not a very urn-like tendency.
Yeah. Unless you make an urn specifically to wiggle. So yeah, so if you go up to it, so I had Sid and Vincent in my party right here, and there's two like tiny bridges that go across the river to the Turtle Paradise Inn.
Yeah, and it's surrounded by like the river that's there.
Yeah, and as soon as you talk to the urn, your other two party members will go block off the bridge. They'll go stand on both ends of the bridge.
Yep.
And then Cloud he'll say, "You can't get away, Yuffie," and he punches it. He just like straight up like reels back and just punches the urn.
And you have to punch it a couple of times. Like I punched it 3 times, and then Yuffie finally jumped out.
Yeah. Oh, and then Cloud says, "You can't get away."
Yeah.
And everybody blocks her off. She can't get anywhere, and she goes, "Okay, I know, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I'll give you back your materia." And she like super sadly like walks. She does like the Arrested Development,
The
like,
Charlie Brown bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Christmas time is here. Piano.
Yeah.
And yeah, so everyone in your party kind of follows her in the direction she's walking to like the right of where we're standing.
Right.
And then as that's happening, 2 more Shinra soldiers run like in the other bridge that we're not walking across and go right into the Turtles Paradise. So like our party doesn't see them. They don't really see the party, or
They either don't see the party or just don't care about us.
Because they've already... Well, I don't know.
They've already said that we're not the ones that they're
Yeah, they have.
We vaporized those guys, though.
Yeah,
It's true. Yeah.
No word got back to the rest of them. Hey, I got a quick question for everybody right now.
Yeah.
So like some RPGs like tell you like explicitly what's going on. Are we killing them or like knocking them out?
I think we're killing them.
You think we're killing them dead?
They aren't just like phasing and going back to headquarters.
Yeah.
He could be like avatars.
I think we're killing them because I think that we established, like, at the bombing mission. You know what I mean? Like, we
that's
established
true.
then that Avalanche is, like, kind of a by any means necessary organization.
Yeah, that's a good point.
absolutely.
That's a good point.
You know,
Yeah, I think
non-lethal
so.
force whenever possible. But
Yep. I
But
think you're right.
it's literally never possible in this game.
nope.
They're just getting earned.
Yeah, they're getting earned.
Getting earned.
Time for the urn.
Just earning left and right.
Dude, can we keep playing this we keep playing Final Fantasy on Twitch, like whenever somebody beats a boss, like we like
Time for the urn.
time for the urn, and we like make like an emoji that's an urn.
Just big chat commands that just like exclamation point urn, and then people just spam it. It just says in big
I
letters.
hate this.
It's time for the urn.
It's time
like
for
a
the urn.
sound bite with a Wilhelm scream behind it.
So anyway,
Sorry, what?
I was just trying to come up with big earnings.
Big earnings.
Big earns.
so
Bigger. Were you saying boo or boo earns?
who earns? Jesus Christ. So inside the Turtles Paradise, the Shinra soldier, they're standing by the Turks, and one of them says, "So our reports were right. He is on vacation here. We finally found him. Get the Turks here for backup."
Yeah, which is like I like.
This is just like you, Curtis. Like someone barges into your house, like, he does have a day off.
Yeah, I know that is how I feel.
Yeah.
God, never have a fucking day off.
Yeah.
Get in here.
Yeah. Hear me, the company that I work for that I'm not entirely comfortable with naming on the podcast. Get in here and defend yourself. Why am I working on every day off?
But that's happening with Reno right now.
Yeah.
And much like Curtis, Reno says, "What a drag."
Yeah.
And-
Well, you know what I like? I like that when they burst in, they're like, he is on vacation. Let's get the Turks for backup. And like at first I was like, he is on vacation. Oh, they mean like Reno. And then they're like, we'll get the Turks to help us get him. And I'm like, oh, they mean somebody else.
Some other person.
Some other third party. And like,
we're like, we know that Hojo likes to take vacations. That's where my mind went.
I was gonna, like, when they're trying to figure out like who has done a thing, they have like a chart of like everybody's like likes and dislikes, and they're like, Hojo likes vacations,
walks on the beach.
Yeah,
So they can make like a flow chart of
Yeah.
like, probability.
yeah, right.
That's your Pepe Sylvia meme.
Yeah. We're like, could it be Dio? No, Dio doesn't like vacations. That can't be him. His
Yeah.
life is one big vacation.
It's true.
Reno does say, what a drag. And the Shinra Shoulder's like, what was that? Like, he's all like fucking
Yeah, he's like
butthurt
taken
about
aback.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, we're off duty right now and can't save your butts. and much like my manager, the Shinra Soldier's like, hey, look, we know you're off duty, but
Yeah. If you knew, then don't bother us. Looking at you is making me sober.
it's so good. And the Shinra Soldier's like, oh, but you all have orders from headquarters to look from them too. Well, all right, fine. We'll get them without any help from the Turks. You see, like finger waggly, like you'll see.
Yeah.
We'll get them.
And they run out, and then one of them runs back in, and he says, "And don't think that headquarters isn't going to hear about this."
What a little shit.
Yeah, what a fucking rat.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to tell the boss.
And like Elena, like fucking Elena.
She's very good.
We stand Elena. Oh yeah,
We stand
Do
on it.
indeed.
yeah. She says, Reno, do you really think that was such a good idea? I mean, is that the way a Turk would act? And
Yeah.
we get the first of a couple don't misunderstands
Yep,
in this
exactly.
section. Where Reno says, don't misunderstand. Those who sacrifice... Oh, God, I want to, like, get this tattooed on my fucking, like, neck. Just, like... just
Across your chest.
Just across my chest.
in the
I'm-
Thug Life font.
God, this is, like, my favorite line in this whole fucking game. Because it's just like, ugh! Too real. Too real. Yeah, Reno says, those who sacrifice themselves for their job aren't pros, just fools.
Hell yeah.
Did you get that
Reno!
tattooed on your face in the Earth Crisis font?
Fucking comrade Reno over here.
Yeah,
So
seriously.
good. Yeah, so Elena like like tries to get Rude on her side, and she's like, "Oh, Rude," and he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, he's just silent.
She goes, "Well, I don't buy that. Goodbye." Which is like, everybody had like you don't come pre-woke.
Well,
Elena's
and she's
working
also
through.
new.
She's also new.
She's like
yeah.
new to the job, and we've all like, I feel like we've all kind of been there where you're at a job for like a little while, and then someone new comes in and they're like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed,
Yeah,
and they're like,
yeah,
"Oh, I'm gonna do
yeah.
what I can to like help out," and then it's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna get like insanely exploited by the company.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
they're gonna take your hard work and pay you nothing for it, and then
Also prepared to be smoked by everybody you work with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Like,
Sure.
everything's gonna fall to you. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna do my best to like prove myself, and it basically amounts to nothing. And then you're just burnt out and cranky.
Yeah.
And then like when a new person comes on and they do that, you're like, they'll learn.
I was you once.
They'll learn.
Yeah.
They'll learn.
And so she runs out, and Reno just says, "Relax. She's not a child. Let her have her way."
Yep.
And so, yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah. And then we're
We're at Yuffie's house.
we're at a new place that we haven't seen yet.
The closed off house earlier where somebody says, "That's my house. You can't come in." Like
Yep.
it turns out that this is Yuffie's house.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
so you
found,
think she was the one who was in there?
I think so.
that'd be
yeah.
really funny if
I
it
mean,
was
she
her.
is like zipping around the whole time. I think
You
like
know what? Technically, on the script, it says that it is her that says it.
Oh.
oh
Really?
So
Okay.
yeah, I think it's her saying it from like on the other side of the door. Like again, being a shitty kid and not being very good at it.
yeah.
Well, you know what I think is like the funniest thing though is that she tried a lot of different things to keep us from getting to her, but the most effective one was just not opening the door
Yeah.
when we were like,
Exactly.
well, just locking the door was the most effective one. We're like, we have no way to get past this.
She could have completely soft locked the game for us, pretty much.
yeah,
Or just made us start like getting different materia over and over again.
yeah.
Well, we lost our optional character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think technically this whole area is optional, so you can
Yeah.
probably just leave.
You can't.
You
can't.
can.
Yeah, I read that if you try to go back to the Tiny Bronco after this, they'll be like, "Hey, we can't go. We have."
Oh,
to
okay,
eat
the
your
tiny
stuff."
Bronco. Okay, because when I tried to leave town, while searching for Yuffie, they were like, "Oh well, I don't think she went that way. We should check somewhere else."
Oh.
And then you can and then you walk back forward, but then you can go to the world map. I didn't try going all the way back to the tiny Bronco.
Okay, yeah. What I read online is that if you try to get in the Tiny Bronco, someone will say like, "Hey, we shouldn't do
we
this.
shouldn't just leave all of our
Yeah.
materia. No, that's
and
good.
it depends. Like, it won't necessarily be Cloud, depending on what time part of the game you're in and everything. So it'll be whoever like party leader is.
Yeah.
we'll say it.
Interesting.
So does all this not happen if you approach Wutai without Yuffie? I mean, if you haven't found her yet.
Oh, if you haven't found her yet, I would assume
that's a
it
good
doesn't
question.
happen.
Yeah, I think it doesn't happen. I think it's just like the default like first thing that you can talk to everyone.
we could
about.
make another. We could make another
Editorial note.
Well, I was gonna say like an unfulfilled promise of saying after the break we'll have that information, and then just never mention it.
I have Black Chocobo installed. I can just modify my save to say I haven't found Yuffie yet and start that whole section over again.
Oh, you should try that.
Because it lets you like uncheck little things like that.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
interesting. That's really cool. I would
You
like
should
to
also
play with
find
that.
out if it lets you go through the rest of the game without your materia. Like if there's any way to get past that.
What if I just
Yeah.
threw?
Oh, yeah.
What if I just sold all my materia?
Well, it does say that
I
like
mean,
she can
obviously
only,
that's one way.
yeah, and like it does say that like she only takes 48 of them. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you
I
have
was-
more than that, you get to keep it.
Yeah, I was playing on my like hacked save, and it just loaded up every materia, and she only took a few of them.
Okay, yeah. She took your master summon. Apparently, that's the
See, I
highest
guess
one.
I didn't even realize that she doesn't take all of it. Like,
I've never had more
Yeah.
than 48. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know that I've ever had any way to stress test that. Test
Right.
the tensile strength of this
Yeah, yeah.
threshold.
Because like as I've been going through the game, whenever I see a new one, I usually just buy one of it
Yeah, exactly.
and then just roll on.
Yeah.
So I think up to this point, you really wouldn't typically have
yeah.
48 different ones.
And I think
Or-
we might have mentioned it on the podcast before, but once you like get the highest level of a certain materia, it'll duplicate itself and give you an additional one that's back at the base level with like
Yeah.
0 AP.
A little baby.
Yeah, so you
Little
get
baby
it like
materia.
splits itself into like. Other
How does
things.
that work if a materia is made from the live stream?
Oh man,
Are you splitting souls apart?
probably.
If you master yourself, is that
Or is it creating new souls?
or is it creating new souls?
Ugh.
Is it a clone? Like a
Curtis,
little
when you master yourself, you become a god, not materia.
you become a summon.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah. Which means you become materia. Yeah, I guess you become materia.
My mind went somewhere completely different when you were talking about Curtis mastering himself.
Well, shame on you.
There, that should be the
I
episode
hope you
title.
feel
of
like you need a shower because I feel like I need a shower. I'm not the one
You
who
are
said that.
absolutely right. I'm very ashamed.
First your ding-a-ling, and now this.
Like that's Carl's sperm for you.
Uh,
I know. Okay, that's 3 podcasts in a row. I'm
mean,
sorry. I
I-
promised myself I wouldn't do it
no,
this
that's
time.
completely fine. I once I said that, I was like, I've just like cemented my fate.
No. I was like, I'm not gonna say it this time. I'm not gonna do it. But like,
Well, that's like the other day on Facebook chat when I called Curtis Cait Sith, and
Cait
he
Sith.
did not react well to
Oh my
that.
God, Cait Sith. That's really good.
well,
Yeah, you're welcome for that one, Carl. That's why I said this on the podcast.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I said that because I care about you and I want you to have it.
Thank you so much.
Adam, how do
Means
you
a
feel
lot.
about Cait Sith?
You know what? I think you guys give him a really hard time.
We do give him a hard time, but like, you could also
It's a
say,
sucky character. I mean,
There we
it's
go,
a
okay.
shit character. But, you know,
That's
maybe
all we
a little
wanted to hear.
heavy-handed.
Yeah, that's true.
I might put
I'm
him
just
in my
kidding.
party.
He sucks. He's awful. He's the worst.
Carl, start off the next
Exactly.
section while I have a drink of water.
So we're back in Yuffie's house now, or in Yuffie's house for the first time, and she says, "I know the materia, right? I have it stored in a safe place. ... Follow me."
Have either of you read the cast of Amontillado?
Oh my God! She takes us down there and bricks us up.
Oh my God, that'd be insane.
Montresor!
There's we just look at like some of the floorboards, and there's like a beating of it.
Yeah, the telltale material.
She takes you downstairs. I have such sights to show you.
Yeah, oh,
Razor.
that's so good. Wall razor.
Oh my God.
Yeah. How about that?
Oh yeah.
Is wall in this game? They call it barrier in this game.
It's barrier.
It's supposed to
right?
reflect in this game.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
Maybe we'll get there. Whatever.
Yes, it is. I have every materia.
Yeah. Downstairs, Turtle Paradise flyer number 6.
Oh, yeah.
In Yuffie's house.
Yeah. So we're
It's a very fucked up way for a company to do their promotion.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine like a store today, right? Like Checkers is like there are 5. Yeah, it's like Checkers is like there are 5 flyers in the world you need to find. One of them is in somebody's fucking home, and you have to go
And you
into their
can't-
home and into the basement of their home to see it.
and they are really good at making sure you don't get into their home.
Yeah.
These ARGs.
And if you bring them all in, you get 50% off a Big Buford.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Sorry.
yeah, no, that's okay. So we're walking down to like a basement area, and we're you start out on the steps, and there's a doorway right to your left. But like Curtis was saying, that poster is like down the end of the hallway that just leads to a dead end. So it just looks like set dressing. So
Right.
you might not even notice that it's something that you can interact with. So yeah, but you walk into the actual like room itself, and Yuffie is standing there on top of like a rug, and
Yeah, she starts kind of monologuing to herself, right?
yeah.
Yeah, she goes, I've been hearing ever since I was little. Before I was born, Wutai was a lot more crowded and more impressive. You see what it looks like now, right? It's just a tourist trap. After the war, we got peace, but we lost something else. Now look at Wutai. And that's why, if I had a lot of materia, I could... And then, like, I love that Cloud's just like, listen, Yuffie, I don't care about the history of Wutai or your feelings.
Yeah.
You've got our materia, and I want it back now.
And I
I'm
think
like,
she's also like crying a little bit.
She's like doing like a pose as though she's crying into her hands. Yeah. And Cloud says, if you give it back now, we'll drop the whole thing. Which, like, first line of Cloud stuff, damn, cold. That line, understanding.
Pretty solid. Yeah.
Pretty solid. Where he's just like, look, just give it back. No big deal. We'll carry on like it was nothing.
They're like, we've been through this before.
Yeah.
We're sick of your bullshit.
Yeah.
We're willing to just let it all go if you just fucking knock it off right now.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
That's also just easier for the game devs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, make it.
And she says, I know that. And she's like kind of like crying. And she says, that sniff, switch, the lever on the left. The materia's sniff, hick in there.
Uh-huh.
So she's kind of like telling you like, oh, go pull this lever on the left and you'll find the materia. And like in this room, like the room in her basement, it looks like an arcade cab in the back of the room.
Yeah.
And it just says off on it.
Mhm.
And there's two like giant comical levers.
Yep.
like big, like, I don't even know how to describe them.
They look
They're
like joysticks, like Atari joysticks.
Yeah, but
almost.
they're like huge.
Yeah.
They're like very comical, like you would see on like a sci-fi movie from like the 50s.
Or in
you know?
Scooby-Doo, like turning on like the windmill or something.
Yeah, where they're like, flip the lever. And I, yeah. And I like, if you, so I had Sid and Vincent, and if you talk to Sid, he goes, no, I don't know. And Vincent says, there's nothing else to do. It's a weird one.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
And,
well, what else?
Alex, do you want to tell us about flipping the lever?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
It's like that little bit of SpongeBob where you're trying to open the lid and you just can't quite.
Yeah.
It's like, nope. You're missing it.
The hitbox for the lever is so small. Like you have to like, because if you're like facing it like directly on it, you can't throw the lever. You have to face like sideways or diagonally from it to be able to even like engage with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you get an option of whether to throw the lever on the left or the right. What did everybody do?
I did the right lever.
Okay.
I did the right lever.
I did not trust her it one bit, so I threw the right lever.
This time I threw the right lever, but last time I threw the left one.
Yeah. What happens when you throw the left one?
So if you throw the left one, a giant cage comes down on top of the party,
Yeah.
and traps your other two party members in. And she's like, haha, sucker, I'm not giving you back the materia. And if you throw the right one, like we all did this time,
A giant
cage-
gate falls down, and yeah,
and
and
it traps your party. And she says, haha, you should have listened to me.
I love that. Like both of them do the same. Because like after I let my party out, I tried the left lever because
Yeah.
you can go back and interact with it again. And when I did, like the gate just fell again, and I was like, either way, it was gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
And I
So
love that
good.
she's like, oh, you should have listened to me. Like,
But it doesn't
as if-
matter.
Yeah, as if she would have given you.
God,
your
what a
material.
shit. What a little shit.
Yeah,
Who installed this?
Gorky.
Gorky, we'll get to you, Gorky. She says, you want your materia? Go find it yourself. And that's right. When you're looking for materia, remember, you gotta steal it. Haha, steal it. Steal. Get it?
Yeah, and
And I don't get it.
I guess it's a
do
cage.
you not get it?
I get steal, like steal it. You have to steal it from somebody, but S-T-E-E-L.
STEEL. Yeah, steel, like the steel cage that fell on you.
That's what she's referencing. Okay,
Yes.
I was like...
Well, that's why
Is
she
that-
had a really. I wonder what this is in Japanese. Is one of those things.
Yeah, it could be.
If it makes more sense.
Call Corey right now.
Now
No, I just took it as like
You
it's
know
a
what?
steel
Hold
cage
on.
that she traps you in.
That
so
makes sense. You're
steel.
right.
During the break, we'll look up.
Okay, there we go. More of those vacuous promises.
You know we're good for it. Just hit the left lever and you'll find out for sure what she's joking about.
But she says, see ya, and just runs off. And you can try to leave this room without your party members, and they'll be like, wait, Cloud, please don't leave. They'll tell you to come back and get him out of the cage. So you have to throw the lever back up, and you get your party members back.
Yeah.
And it doesn't tell you where to go after this.
No.
At all. So if you're just looking around town, this might take a second. And it took me a second the first time. I was like, where did she go?
Yeah, I ended up having to look it up.
Really? I knew it this time because of when I played the whole game through earlier this year. But across from Lord Godot's house is like a little shrine with a bell in it. Mm-hmm. And the doorway leading to it is now open.
Yeah.
And like you can barely see that doorway is open.
Yeah, you could barely see that the doorway was closed. You just couldn't walk up to the bell. So there's a lot of instances in Wutai, I feel like, where there's things that like you can interact with that when you first get there you can't.
Right. And
so
now
it's
you
like
can.
and like it's always like the gate that leads to Yuffie's next part. So it's like you kind of have to just go around mashing the confirm button.
For real. But you can now walk in there and you can ring the bell in the shrine. And like a hidden doorway appears on the part of the shrine facing the camera.
Yeah.
Right. And so you go in that door. Oh boy, you go in that door.
Yep.
And immediately we see a soldier dressed in black. He's a Shinra soldier who's like holding Yuffie up above his head with both hands.
Yeah.
Like just like carrying her like up in the air. And she says, "Let go. I said let go. Hey, who do you think Ow, what are you doing, jerk?" And Cloud walks in and looks around the room and goes, "You!"
Yeah.
And the camera pans upward, and it's
you just hear ho ho.
you hear ho ho, and it's fucking Don Corneo.
Yep.
Like,
Bastard.
here he is again.
That old asshole.
Oh, what a dingus. We haven't seen him since Wall Market.
Yep.
Lord.
Since we fought his apps.
Yeah, since we fought the apps. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like, I'm assuming that everybody's listened to the podcast up to this point. But if you haven't, this is the guy who's involved with the whole cross-dressing mission and like trying to pimp out Eris and Tifa and Cloud or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Voiced by Mark Hamill in the remake. Which is,
when you all told me that was Mark Hamill, I was like, what?
yep.
What?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on. Have you watched the new?
I was not aware.
Me neither.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
you watched the new trailer?
I have, yes.
I'm just gonna pull up that clip because it's so good.
Corneo's got certain tastes.
Don't be shy, little kitten. Shimmy on over and give Daddy some sugar.
It'll be fun.
That's totally the Joker.
Oh, it's so good. I heard the voice and I was like, oh,
Greasy.
I didn't picture his voice to be like that. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I like that. And then someone told me it was Mark Hamill, and it's so obvious. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Some sugar.
Yeah, I feel like the end of the line you can tell a little bit better.
Definitely.
That's him.
Definitely. So yeah, Luke Skywalker. So we're about to fight Luke Skywalker.
I love that we have two episodes.
He has a
in
kind of end like Luke Skywalker too.
I like that we have two episodes in a row of somebody hearing on the podcast that it's Mark Hamill and going like, "What?"
I mean,
Yeah, no, I did it
her
last
voice.
time when they told me. I was like, "Oh my god!"
I had just heard like that day that we recorded too. So
Yeah. So good.
breaking news.
All right, so let's finish up the scene, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So that Don Corneo says, "Ho hi, ho hi, ho hi hi." You know,
Yeah, he's just laughing.
it's
I
like
guess.
Mr. Burns answering the phone.
Oh, hoy,
hoy.
Yeah, and he says, "I finally got a new chickie, 2 for 1
A
in
new
fact."
chickie.
Yeah, just
Jesus.
still a piece of shit.
Yes.
Well,
says-
see, now I'm like reading it in Mark Hamill's voice now, like, and
Oh, yeah.
it works really well.
Yeah, I'm not good enough at doing a Mark Hamill.
New
impression.
chicky.
Yeah,
Cloud goes, "Oh wait, hon, wait."
yeah. So he
Yes,
says
I got
2
it.
for 1 in fact. He, and then Cloud says 2, and then you hear Elena.
Yeah, the camera pans up even further, and there's another soldier holding Elena above his head as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she says, "Hey, let go of me. You're gonna regret this." And they run off, like the two soldiers run off, and he just says, ho hi, and runs off
yeah.
again.
he runs-
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh
like-
yeah, that makes sense. I don't think they're Shinra soldiers because the Shinra. Are
Oh, you're
after
right.
him.
Yeah, you're
So-
100% right.
And it looks like they got like katanas on their back. It might
Yep.
just be guns.
You're
but,
right. They are not Shinra
Yeah,
soldiers.
they're his new goons.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
What was the name? What was the name of his old goon?
Scotch and Koch.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
Scotch?
it's new
Yeah.
Scotch and new Koch.
Yeah, new Scotch and new Koch.
There's 2 chests in here as well.
An elixir?
An elixir and a bolt thing.
Something that casts Bolt 3. What is it?
In the other chest is a swift bolt, which does bolt 3 to
Yeah,
all
it does.
enemies, which is really helpful. Also, the shop here, you can pick up a couple of items that does like fire 3 or bolt 3.
Right, yeah.
Which is good because you don't,
You don't
have,
have materia.
yeah, which is
So-
helpful.
So, we've found Yuffie and discovered that Don Corneo is alive made it out of Midgar and is now kidnapping Yuffie and Elena. I think that's a good halfway point.
I think so too.
All right, well, let's take it to the end. So, Corey, we sent you some information about a piece of text that we're trying to get decoded, right? And so for context, in the game, in our versions when we're playing it, Yuffie has stolen our materia, and she says, well, if you want to get some materia, you're going to have to steal it, S-T-E-E-L. Get it? Steal it? And we're thinking that, she must be talking about the steel cage, because I didn't get it at first. So Alex was like, well, let's look at the Japanese version. And it looks like it's slightly different. And I guess he sent that to you, right?
Yeah, I just got a message on Twitter and then just like a line dump from Yuffie. And my first thought was, wow, Yuffie's just exactly as obnoxious in Japanese as she is in English. So I actually had to look it up because it's like a super lame, obscure play on words. But I guess there's a saying in Japanese, it's like, kane ni mono o iwaseru, which is like, it means to like make do with what you have, but it's literally like to speak gold into objects or something. Like it's like using, your money for the things you want or something.
Okay.
So it's like weird. Kane does mean gold, but I guess it can also mean like metal. But I think that she's like literally, it's just an obscure play on words in Japanese that just like, it's first of all, it's a lame joke in Japanese to begin with, and then it's translated into English. And I think the translators like probably are looking at this line by line, and they're just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, there's just nothing here.
So she's just making a joke based on a lame Japanese idiom.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember there was some kind of trap that you get caught in, but she's basically saying like, in order to get materia, you got to make do with what you have. And then, but the phrase she uses for make do with what you have is like, you got to speak gold into being. Get it? Gold? Haha. And then she's like, all right, later, bitches.
Yeah, but so wait a second though. So think about this. One thing that we know about Wutai that's kind of like we haven't really talked about in the episode is that like Wutai is a historic place, and it's also like based on the things that I gathered through like her conversations with her father, like it's a rural place. So like maybe that's meant to imply to the Japanese that it's like an old world or rural phrasing. You might be right. Let me see, how old is that? Yeah, so I guess it's like it's the phrase is literally like you can speak gold into objects or gold into things. And so it's like a phrase used to imply like when you have a lot of money, you can just make things bend to your will.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's just like a common phrase in Japanese, or I don't even know how common it is. I've never heard it before, but that's not saying much.
Upon review, I think I prefer the steel one.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I take back everything I said about you. FF7
All right, you can just
translator.
go ahead and rewind this, and I'll just go back to learning my riffs.
All right, hey, Corey, thank you so much.
Good luck with the riff, sir.
Anytime you need me to go on the pod and defend myself.
And we're back from our break. I did it again! That's twice in an episode. God, what a nightmare.
Strong work, bud. Strong work.
What a living hell I'm putting producer Alex through.
You need to know.
He wakes up in a cold sweat knowing what he has to edit for each week.
You now need to sleep in a coffin for years for your sins.
I'm the man in the box. What a nightmare. I've made this the worst part of the podcast.
So anyway.
Yeah, Don Corneo's getting away like a jerk.
Like a chocobo.
Like a chocobo.
So yeah, so now we're in a room that was in Godo's house.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about this one.
Yeah, it's got like a bright, shiny Buddha statue and like a very ornate rug that also is glistening. Like it's like
straight
gold.
glistening.
Yeah.
Love it. And then, so as we're chasing him, Shinra soldiers bust in through the other door, like not the way we came into this room.
Yeah, we came in from a back entrance that wasn't available to us earlier.
Right, yeah, from that shrine that was actually connected to this room.
Right behind the statue in this room. Yeah.
But Shinra busts in through the other door. It's 3 Shinra soldiers. And they say, there he is. It's Corneo. Don't let him get away. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Shinra's actually looking for Don Corneo. That's who they're here trying to get. And I love it. I love it.
It's so good. And then he sees them and like tries to get away. So he like turns around and then our party just kind of stands to block him. And he like runs up, sees them and stops and then like turns around. And the Shinra...
them.
And he sees them. And then the Shinra soldier says, attack! And they charge, and Corneo just ducks out of the way, and they run into us, and it starts a battle.
Yeah, we start a battle with them, which is the way that real fighting works.
Exactly,
If you touch someone, you must fight them to the death. You cannot at any point like stop that fight and be like, that's not who I meant to attack.
It's
Pokemon rules.
Yeah, or it's like a like an Andy Cap cartoon where it's just like a big cloud. Not Cloud the character, but like a smoke cloud just appears and you see like fists coming out and feet. And...
Yeah. And people get like dragged into it or like get out of it while the fight's still going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. After the dust is settled, they've gotten away, or Don Corneo got away.
Yeah, so we finished the fight. It's just another attack squad fight.
Yeah.
3 this time.
And this time, I actually had a full party.
Yeah.
Instead of 2 people because Yuffie left.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but so when we walk back out into like the little area in between Godo's house and the pagoda, we see Rude and Reno run toward the entrance of that screen, kind of like under like a little like shrine gateway.
Yeah.
And Rude just says ... Elena, and Reno says, Corneo's good at escaping. Let's go, Rude. We'll give him a taste of what the Turks can do. And then Rude runs off, and Reno is like, that sounded okay.
Yeah.
Like, I like that he was like trying to like say something cool, and afterwards he was just like, yeah, that was all right. That was pretty cool.
Satisfied, you know? Like,
Yeah.
all right, buddy.
Solid 7 out of 10.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
And he says, and Reno says, if he has
and
Elena...
he turns around and is talking to us at this point.
Oh, right, yeah.
Sorry,
So, Reno turns around and he's talking to us, and he says, if he has Elena, that's going to make things a little difficult. And, wait, I think I might...
No, he actually says, and,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then Cloud says, okay, Corneo took Yuffie from us, and without Yuffie, there's no way we'll get our materia back. And then we get the second don't misunderstand from Reno. He says, don't misunderstand. We have no intention of joining you. We're only agreeing not to fight each other for now.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's so good. And Cloud says, that's fine. We have no intention of cooperating with you either. Now, which direction did Corneo run off? And Reno just goes, nice attitude. Here's a clue. It's the most obvious place. And he runs away, right?
Yeah.
And, like, the only place we haven't done anything yet in the side quest is the Dachau statue,
exactly.
like the mountain path, right?
Right, exactly. So it is the most obvious place. But if you need a better clue than that, the guy who's walking around also gives you a better clue.
Is it the little kid who's walking next to the item shop?
No, so it's
okay.
it's the guy who's just like right next to the one house right there. He says, 2 girls just went off towards Dachau. I wonder.
Oh,
Yeah, I wonder if that place is popular with the kids now. One had herself all tangled up in a rope, and the other one kind of looked like Yuffie. Like, come on, dude! Like,
yeah, I like that. Like
kidnapping happening.
Yeah, I like that. Like,
there's like human
2
trafficking.
people are being
happening.
carried above people's heads, right? Like, it's like if you, it's like if you saw like a person carrying a baby, and you were like, did you see that baby walking over there? Like, the baby's not walking. Like, that's not who you would typically point out.
Yeah, it's like when Maggie's drinking from the dog bowl, and Grandpa's like, yeah, kids love that water. But yeah, if you talk to the little girl who's running around, she says, all right. I saw an old man in flashy clothes running towards Dachau. He was babbling something and looked like he was floating. Again, he's got another...
Yeah, he got a float materia.
The elusive float materias. And she says, he almost bowled me over. So...
Yeah, and that little girl actually, every time until then, if you talk to her, says, I haven't seen anybody go up to Chow in a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you ask specifically about a girl with materia, and she says she hasn't seen anyone go up there. Right. Yeah.
So we run up to the base of the Dachau mountain, right? It's hard to say whether it's like a mountain or a statue because it's so like ornately carved.
Yeah, like you said, it's got Mount Rushmore vibes.
Right, but it's like whole bodies instead of just like
exactly.
heads, right?
Instead of just lame heads.
Yeah. So you run up and Reno and Rude are waiting for you, and Reno says, "You're finally here. Let's split up. You do whatever it takes, but don't endanger Elena." And he says, "Don't worry, we won't do anything to hurt Yuffie. For now."
Yeah, I love this like anime trope of like the enemies have to team up together.
I love it. I love that there are 4 different like factions here, right? Because like the Turks are Shinra, but they're on vacation, so they're not actually even Shinra right now.
Yeah.
Like Shinra's mad at them for not doing their job.
Exactly, and the only reason they're doing it is because their coworker or their friend really has been like kidnapped by this guy.
Yeah,
So they're
I
like,
love it so much.
they're like begrudgingly doing it, but they're like, oh, we got to take care of him.
Yeah, this is a fucking Scooby-Doo mess if I've ever
Yeah,
seen one.
it just so happens to also be their job.
Yeah.
I guess I like totally misremembered. Like I didn't realize that this was gonna be the Scooby-Doo thing. Like I didn't remember it being that way. Like I said earlier, I thought that they were there, supposed to be there. Like this is so funny that like you're putting it like the Scooby-Doo thing, because now that I'm thinking about it, like yeah, that's exactly what the fuck this is. Like what did this dickhead get himself into this time?
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah. And like Don Corneo's inclusion in it just makes it a disaster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's already like quote unquote bad, you know? We're like, oh, the Turks are here. Yuffie took all of our crap. Like, this sucks, you know? And then fucking Don Corneo comes in out of nowhere. Haven't
These
seen him.
greasy old perverts involved. And like, where'd this guy come from?
I know. And it's just a big fucking clusterfuck. It's so ridiculous. So good.
Yeah. So
it's turned into an omnishambles.
So we run up the path and kind of follow Reno and Rude, and they kind of run off into opposite paths.
Yeah.
And this is like a windy kind of like sort of weird geometry, but not as bad as like Mount
odd.
Evil. Like it's easier to.
I'd put it right up there with it.
Yeah.
I think it gets pretty confusing, but I'm not the god gamer that you are.
So yeah, that's it. So like you get to like a fork in the path there, right in front of one of the statues, who looks kind of like he's dabbing a little bit. Now that I'm looking at it, and like off to the left is Rude, and off to the right is Reno. You can
Right.
actually go up to Reno and talk to him, and he's like,
Yeah,
yo,
so-
stop fooling around. Like the enemy's not going to wait for us, you know.
Yeah. So you can actually go right to where you're supposed to, or there's 4 different places you can talk to Reno or Rude on the mountain, because there's a whole bunch of like dead ends.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I accidentally went to like the place right.
Really? Right to this? Okay.
So if you have the other dialogue,
I
take it
do.
away.
So Rude never says anything, but you can see him on another one of the arms, like the outstretched arms of the statues. And like these statues are huge. Like when we're talking about it, like we're running around like on their fingers and arms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And up their shoulders. Like that's where the paths are, like around their shoulders.
Yeah, like if you run all the way to like the northmost that you can go, you're like at one of the hands that's just in the air, and you get a nice view of like Wutai in the distance
Right.
and stuff. But like the hand is doing like the sa dude, like
Sa dude.
sa dude, like hand motion.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So Rude never says anything to you. He always just says ... and then he runs away because he's looking for Elena.
Yeah.
And you also see him in front of a cave. And if you talk to him, he runs in the cave. And there's just a cave full of fucking fire.
Yep.
In this mountain.
There's a lot of fire too. There's like fire off like in a spot that you can't really see, and also if you try to continue forward, there's just fire right
Yeah.
there. Like if you touch it, Cloud's like, whoa, like we can't pass this.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's also a chest in that cave.
A dragoon lance.
Yeah, which is a weapon for Sid.
Who I had on my party, so that was very nice.
That's awesome.
You can also see Reno, like you were saying, on this dude arm or whatever. And he says, "You all thought they might be up here too, huh? Well, we're way off. There's no way they could get this far." And so you run back. So there's enemies here too while you're running around.
Those
right?
random encounters, and they're pretty tough.
So I took a picture of the Garuda
Oh yeah,
encounter. Because those things are also little jerks, man. These encounters can mess you up quick.
yeah. Like we were saying, like we might be a little under-leveled. Like the AP and just everything that's kind of going on kind of makes it seem like, especially because the items that we get, like the attack items here, are like level 3 weapons.
Right.
So like we're kind of like punching up a little bit in these
Right.
fights. So like. Again, it's not impossible to do when you can get through it, but it's like it's pretty tricky when
It
you
can be
have
harrowing.
no materia.
Yeah, you're relying on items. And so at this point, like, so for me, Cloud had a base HP of 1820, and like a high potion only heals like 500.
Yeah.
So like these guys are doing like over 1,000 damage sometimes,
Yeah.
and like you just have to use X potions, which like I think I had 3 of.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a lot of like means of recovering that much HP that quickly right now.
Yeah.
So you either need to like win the battles and get them done with, or run away from them because they'll mess you up.
Yeah, I had a few X potions here, but I can't remember where I got them.
Yeah.
I might have bought them from a shop because at one point I actually took a screenshot because I somehow managed to have 55555 gil.
Really?
I was like, what the fuck? How did that happen?
That's awesome. Yeah, so there's only one area left on the Chow Mountain, right? And it's like a big palm in front of one of the heads, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as we run in, we see Yuffie and Elena are like tied in like a cross pose, like a Jesus pose.
Yeah,
like
like
tied
they're
onto
crucified,
the
it looks like.
onto the eyes of the statue, right? Like they're covering the eyes of the statue. It's real fucking wild looking.
Real dark.
Yeah, right. And Don Corneo is just standing there on one of the fingertips. And Yuffie's just saying, "Let me go." And fucking Corneo, man, he's such a creep. He's like, delicious, scrumptious. I think I've just found a new hobby.
Ugh.
And like, I'm an enjoyer of the word scrumptious, but
Yeah, not here.
not here, not now.
Yeah, and he says, which shall it be?
Oh God, yeah, this.
Yeah, and
So
then
creepy.
I think I missed a dialogue thing here. So
Oh, he says, which shall it be? Should I take her? And he looks at Elena, and Elena goes, hey, I'm a Turk. You can't get away with this. And he goes, or maybe her.
And like the whole time he's like dancing around a little
He's,
bit
like,
and running, and he
dancing
like
around.
stands in front of them, and like it
He's
like
real creepy.
alternates back.
Yeah. And Yuffie goes, oh God, if I knew this was going to happen, I would have taken those rope lessons more seriously.
Yeah, she was slacking in class, and she's like, "Shit, I never thought that I would actually need what I was being
there's
taught."
like, you could imagine like a flashback where she's like in class, like learning about like to get out of ropes, and she's like, I don't care about this.
Yeah, when will I ever need this?
This will never happen.
I like also how she says God as GAWD.
Yeah, that's the second time she's done it.
Yeah.
She's done it before. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Corn-
says he's
yeah.
made his choice. His companion for the night will be the cheerful one.
Yeah, pointing to Yuffie.
And Yuffie says grossness.
Yeah, with a hyphen in it, like gross hyphen-ness.
Yeah, and
I
she
love
says,
it.
"Don't mess with me, old man. You don't even have any materia."
I love that. You don't even have materia.
I love that she's always got her like eye on the prize with the materia.
It's so good. And Corneo says, ooh, and she's saucy too. Wee.
Yeah, and then he's interrupted by someone who says, "All right, that's it."
Yeah, and he says, oh, what's going on? Who's there? And
Your party runs in.
yeah, your party runs in, and Yuffie goes, oh man, Cloud. And Corneo says, well, long time no see. Which is weird because Cloud's next line is, don't tell me you forgot.
Yeah, that's probably
That's-
just maybe a translation
That
thing.
seems like a translation error.
Yeah.
I don't think if someone was like, oh, long time no see, you'd be like, oh, you've never met me before, you say.
So you're saying you don't remember that time I kicked your ass?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Aerith here says, you just don't get it,
Who do you have in your party at this point?
I have Aerith and Red 13.
Okay, great. What do they say?
Aerith says, you just don't get it, do you? And Red X says...
You just don't get it, do you?
Red 13 says, hurry and let the two go. And then Corneo just says, be quiet. None of you know how much I've suffered since then. But who did you have in your party?
I have Sid and Vincent, and Sid's line is the best. He says, maybe God would forgive an ugly zoinks like you, but I won't.
Hell yeah.
And like,
That's like the Bugs Bunny meme where it's like him with a gun and it's like, oh Lord, please forgive me.
Yeah.
Like, I forget like what it says, but it's like, I got to do it again or something.
is that the kind of thing that we could put on the Yeti? Like, is Sid
Just
from
Sid
Final
doing
Fantasy?
that. We need to.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. Oh God, Adam, you were here when it got created. You were here during the fucking 0 hour.
I feel like it doesn't have Adam's seal of approval.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm here. Look, I support you, nice boys.
You're too good to us, truly.
You're like a parent who like is like, my kid's not doing very well, but they're trying. Damn it. Like,
but I'm
I'll
still
buy
proud
the
of them.
T-shirt, but I won't wear it.
That's all I can ever ask.
like Vincent also says something like, kind of like, it's fine, but like I was like, Vincent, buddy, you can do better than that. I get it that you're like the Dark Lord or whatever, but like he goes, look, I don't care what you're doing so much as the idiotic way you're doing it. And I'm
What?
like, what does that mean, Vincent? That's
a bad take, I'd say.
a bad take. Yeah, he's.
I know. I feel like that on the internet sometimes. Like, listen, I don't know how you all I don't give a shit, but it's the way you're doing it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, like don't get me wrong. I've felt that way about things.
Just not
but
things
not,
of this gravity.
Not when it's like
yeah.
fucking
Kidnapping,
forcibly
human trafficking.
But you
human
know,
trafficking. Like
I'm gonna do a little brief shout out here to our unsung hero Cait Sith, who according to the script actually has the best dialogue line here.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you
I love
have
it.
him. Which is, listen, you stupid, slimy, sleazy old scab bag. If you
Whoa.
want to get women, there's such a thing as the right way.
whoa!
Oh, he just won major points.
A round of applause.
Holy
Are you-
shit.
That's right, girls to the front.
Oh my-
That's
yeah.
right.
That's
Bikini
true.
Kill played at Riot Fest this
true
weekend.
ally.
I didn't get to see it because I was busy treating my queen wife like a queen for her birthday.
Hell yeah.
Feminism for the win. That's
Hell yeah.
right, boys. We brought it in.
That's
Sith,
incredible.
Cait
Yeah.
Sith is a feminist.
I
Shit.
cannot believe Adam Payne came on our podcast
and defended Cait Sith. Oh my
In
god.
the name of feminism, I defend thee.
That's
Hell yeah.
wow.
well,
I didn't
shit.
think we'd get to this point today.
I did not expect this when I woke up this morning.
Yeah,
but,
that's
Boys,
not-
today
I'm
we
here
made a
for it.
breakthrough. We had
Hell
a
yeah.
breakthrough
Wow.
today.
I'm floored.
hell yeah. Cool. Well, thank you for that. That's awesome.
That is you've severely changed the trajectory of the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're
That's
welcome.
incredible.
A
Now-
fresh perspective.
We're gonna be like, oh my god,
Yeah,
like
we can't talk shit on him.
I don't know, we're gonna have to like make some kind of tweet or like the title of the episode or something and be like, well guys,
We were wrong.
update.
The title of the episode is Cait Sith is a feminist.
He's out of the negatives.
yeah.
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 Incredible. And Vincent is now into the
Yeah, into
Yeah.
the incel club. I
kind
feel
of
like.
creepy. Like, I don't like that, Vincent. That's fucked up.
Vincent's an innocent
Vincent
incel.
kind of is an incel too.
Yeah.
The way he was talking about Lucretia.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
We'll get to that later. but-
Vincent, man.
yeah, big incel energy
Leave me
coming.
to my dark bidding.
He's now my
Fucking
problematic
figures the
fave.
vampire kid is an incel. Imagine that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Like Carl just said, Vincent is his problematic fave. Jeez, I'm sorry. I just felt like we had to go back and revisit that.
So anyway, Don Corneo starts kind of giving a sob story here.
I fucking love this.
This
so
is
like
really good.
This whole scenario has a very like goofy vibe to it. Like all the fucking running around, the Turks on vacation, everybody joking. Sorry, Alex. Yes.
I'm just realizing this whole interaction is pretty much a repeat of everything that we just had with Yuffie like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Whereas like she steals all our stuff. I'm like, you don't know all the stuff I've been through, and
I
then we're just
know.
like, shut up, I don't want to hear it.
real
And they don't-
gaslighting, real gaslighting hours.
And then
here.
Corneo does like, don't. Like,
Yeah, he says, yeah, you said, be quiet. None of you know how much I've suffered since then. It's a long story, but... And, like, piano music, like sad piano music starts playing.
There's like the music stops and there's just like the wind sound and stuff, and it sounds like he's about to like
Launch
pour
into
his
this
heart
big,
out.
sad story. And now I had Sid in my party, and Sid just stops him and goes, I don't give a damn. Let them go or I'm going to break your arms.
Hell yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Cloud just says, I don't really care. Let Yuffie and Elena go, which is like not as cool as what Sid said.
yeah.
Like I feel like
So
there needs
good.
to be a lot more like, hey, shut the fuck up.
I know.
Like,
God, Sid. Sid is my problematic fave. Lord.
True.
Anyway.
Sid is definitely not a feminist.
no, not by any means. So Corneo just turns around and goes, oh, you guys are serious. Good. This time I'm not fooling around either. Why did you kill my little apps? And he's talking about like
The boss that we fought
in the sewers. Yeah.
which is a little sad. I mean, it was a monster and it was trying to kill us. So
my Muffy.
yeah, it's just like, oh, you killed my little apps. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, and he goes, I'm going to make you play with my new pet so you won't interfere in my search for a bride.
Yeah.
Which, like, is also very odd.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if that's also like a translation thing where it's like trying to like downplay exactly what he's trying to do.
it could
just
be,
being like, oh,
but
I want a
also he
bride.
does seem like a moron. And, like,
True.
it could be like, hey, you know what that involves and entails, right? Like, what you're doing, a bride does not make. Like, that's not how that works typically. Yeah.
So he says, raps, come here.
Yeah, apps and raps.
Yeah, so it's RAPPS in all caps.
Yo, so let's talk about raps. Anybody have anything to say about raps? I do.
Yeah, go and take it away.
Arrow 3. How do you feel about Arrow 3?
Oh, that thing wrecked me.
Yo, what the shit?
Yeah.
So Raps has a
Yo,
move.
Don Corneo raps.
What is?
Don Corneo Raps.
Oh man.
So
This
Raps
game came
is
out
like
in the '90s, so it's like primed for like a shitty rapping. Like, my name's Don Corneo, and I'm here to say,
yeah.
I like Yuffie in a major way. Some dumb shit like that.
So
Alex, cut that! I swear to God.
Raps is
There's
like
your
a
first piece of merchandise.
Raps is like a what would you call it? Like a wyvern, maybe?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
kind of dragony, like
Yeah.
like
But no arms or anything like that.
yeah,
Like, it
just
just has
wings,
the wings,
like kind
and
of
a tail.
bat-like, but like skinny body.
Right. But it casts Arrow 3, which is AERO. It's the wind magic in this game, which I don't think we have access to yet. Is that right?
No, I haven't. I
Yeah.
think we might have like come across it with an enemy using it on us before,
Yeah,
but
but-
never. Like we don't have the wind
Materia.
magic yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he uses the third version of it, the all the way powered up version of the spell. And like when it would hit Cloud, it would do like 1,500 damage.
Yeah. I
Like-
think it took down one of my party members
Yeah.
at one point.
Like Vincent in mine right now has 1,600 HP, so that does almost all of his HP. Like unless
Yeah.
somebody was 100% healed up, it would just kill them outright. And he does it like every 3 or 4 turns.
Yeah.
It's monstrous.
And luckily, it doesn't hit the entire party because that would just be pretty much just a one shot.
Right.
And just instant game over. But
Yeah.
what did you end up doing to like beat the Raps?
I kind of got lucky because Vincent went into his Galleon Beast mode.
Nice.
And he actually did some good damage with that.
Sweet.
I also got Cloud to do a Clem Hazard.
Nice.
Which is just like, that limit break is devastating.
Yeah, it's real
Just
good.
so much damage.
Real good.
So I kind of got lucky in that way that I was able to fire those off. I also used the Bolt 3 thing
Nice.
that we got, and it did not do very much damage.
Oh,
And I
really?
was like, what? Why would they even give it to me here?
Yeah, I was using the TS bomb, which does.
I wish
think,
I had some bombs.
I think that does Demi 3. So like it would hit me with like
Oh.
Arrow 3, and I'm like, yo, I got something way worse for you.
No shit. Did it
So,
work?
Yeah, and it was
Oh,
it was
wow.
like weak
Good.
to it might be Demi 2, but either way it was doing like 3,000 damage the first time I threw it.
Holy
so I just
crap.
kind of I had a lot of those because I found an enemy like when I was grinding weeks ago that I could steal that from, and I was just like, oh wait, I definitely need these things. I was like,
really?
I know these are
That's
going to come
awesome.
in handy.
Mm.
Yeah. So that kind of trivialized this fight a little bit, but like it's still a tough fight. Like I had to use a Phoenix down at least once, and
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a tough fight.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. So we beat him, and we get a peace ring. Sorry, what we
which
get
is
for him.
pretty funny.
Yeah. And Corneo says, "Oh, wait, just a second." And Cloud just says, "Shut up," like in all caps. And Corneo says, "Just listen to me. It won't take long." And he does like that same thing that he did the first time we met
Yeah.
him, when he's like, "Why do you think somebody like me keeps talking, even though
Yeah.
we have 3 options?" He says, "Why do you think a bad guy like me would swallow his pride and plead for his life?" And we get 3 options: 1, because he's ready to die; 2, because he's sure he'll win; and 3, because he's clueless.
Which one did you pick?
The obvious one. I always said because he's sure he'll win.
Yeah, I picked because he's ready to die because
Andrew WK.
yes,
He looks like a fan.
because earlier
There you go.
Elena said like get ready to die, and that
Yeah,
song was just
yeah.
playing in my head, and then I saw it here again. I'm like, hey, yeah.
What does he say if you say that? Is he just
he-
like, "This is wrong" or something like that?
Yeah, he says wrong, and then he
Yeah,
then
he just says
hits yeah.
right if it's the other way.
Yeah, so not as good as last time, but then he hits like a little switch, and Yuffie and Elena turn upside down.
Right. Like, which I'm guessing is like he's threatening to drop them
Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah. Actually, I think he does say something about that.
yeah,
But- and-
he calls them squash tomatoes, I believe.
So Yuffie says, "Oh, I'm so pissed."
Yeah.
And Corneo says, "Once I push this button, they'll fall and we'll have squashed tomatoes." And Cloud just says, "Damn." And Sid, so I had Sid, and he says, "This is how a loser lives." Did your party members have any?
Yeah, Aerith just says all right, and then Red 13 just says grrr.
Okay. And Corneo says, "Ha ha ha! Now I guess I have the last laugh." Oh, and then
Yeah, and he says, now give me your women too.
ooh,
as well.
Oh, I didn't get that because I didn't
Yeah,
have
you
any
didn't
women
have
in my
yeah,
party.
but I had Aerith, so. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's fucked
Yep.
up.
So
Yikes.
huge
Yeah,
piece of shit.
major yikes.
Nope.
Yeah. But I love it because as soon as he says, "I'll have the last laugh," you get like just a dialogue box with no name above it that says, "No, that would be us." And Corneo says, "Hey, Hall, what's going on here? Who's there?" the Turks, and Reno fucking walks
Just walks
down,
in slow.
and the Turks music is playing. Oh, it's so cool.
Really good.
He says, "You knew this was this is Reno talking. He says, "You knew this was going to happen ever since you leaked that secret. We're going to take care of you personally."
Yeah, and then Corneo says, "Damn it." Then they're all coming with me, and he's like getting ready to like kill Elena
Yuffie and Elena.
Yeah.
And fucking Rude runs out like on another path. He's not like with us. He's like far away, but we can see part of the path of the mountain.
Yeah.
And it looks like he throws like a knife and like just hits Corneo with it, and the Corneo goes, ugh, and like it kind of like reels back. It looks like he got stabbed in the back.
Yeah,
you know?
and he like falls and then is grabbing onto like the finger of the statue, and he's just kind of hanging there.
He's like dangling from this hand or whatever. And Reno says, "Good timing, Rude." And Rude just goes, "Let's get to work." And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
the Turks. Because like the Turks are always like a joke. Like whenever we fight them, they're always doing something humorous or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like I guess they did get the fucking the plate dropped, which was real fucked, right?
Yeah.
But like they're never like
Like we always kind of kick their ass, so they seem less threatening than they actually are. But like they like
we're actually getting to see what they're doing now.
Yeah, like to
But-
everyone else, like they command respect. Like people are pretty afraid of them.
Right.
So now we're kind of getting to see them in their element because
yeah.
we're not actively.
And
trying
I
to fight
love
them
it.
as well.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think when Reno says that too, he does that animation where it's like
He does the fist pump. Yeah.
yeah, like the fist bump or like the push
One
up,
up,
please.
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
And Reno says, "All right, Corneo, this will be over quick, so listen up." And he does the fucking thing that
This is
Corneo
real
does.
good.
So good. He says, "Why do you think we went to all the trouble of teaming up with those guys to get you? 1, because we're ready to die. 2, because we're sure we'll win. Or 3, because we're clueless." And I'm like, oh, fucking Ruth. Like, Reno's giving him the fucking question treatment that Don Corneo always gives us.
And he says number 2. So he's like, yeah, because they're
guessing.
sure they're gonna win.
Yeah.
And Reno says
all wrong. Oh, and he just steps on Don Corneo's hand and starts like working his shoes into his fingers.
Yep.
And Corneo goes, "Wait, stop." And he fucking just crushes his hand. And Don Corneo falls off like the fucking Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Where like he realizes that his like hands are now off of the thing and he's gonna fall. And he like turns around and looks at the camera. He's like, "Oop," you know?
Yeah.
Like the fucking
Holds up a sign that says "Yipes."
Yeah. And just fucking falls. Oh, fucking awesome.
Yeah, and then Reno says the correct answer was
And then Rude says,
because it's our job.
"Oh, it's so good."
Yeah.
So nasty, man.
I
Just the
do.
toughest boys. Just
I
the
know.
toughest crew, man.
I know.
Nobody is tougher than the damn Turks.
Oh,
Hell
so
yeah.
good. I love that we finally
God.
get that moment.
Yeah.
I just give me a second here. I was at PAX, and
You'll love to see it.
We just played at PAX. You do love to see it, and I got to see it in person because, like, at PAX they had the Mako reactor thing set up to play the demo, you know?
Yeah.
And they had like the Hardy Daytona motorcycle set up.
Yeah.
and,
Oh, hell
you could
yeah.
take like a little video photo of that and stuff. And some of my bandmates did that. But the coolest fucking thing is that the staff working the Square Enix booth were Shinra employees.
Oh, that's so
And
wild.
the people working the line, like the people actually working and maintaining the line, were not cosplaying as Turks, were in character as Turks.
Really?
That's incredible.
That's
the entire
amazing.
weekend at PAX, and so they were like mean, and like everybody was really severe, and like all of the women had the really tight braids, and like it was like a full on deal. It was really cool, and like all of the people working outside of it had like Shinra Electric Company polo shirts on.
Oh
and,
my
like,
God, that's so
clipboards and
good.
stuff, and it was. I mean, it was really neat, man. Like as somebody who was just so cheesed to even see any of it, and getting to play the demo was awesome. But like
That's so cool.
them being the Turks really truly was like the icing on the cake, because like you walk in and the little video that they play is a Shinra new hire employee orientation video.
Oh, that's so good.
It's so sick.
That's incredible.
Sorry
that
to
must have
interrupt.
been...
It's
No,
just
no,
the
that's
coolest,
that's
man.
so
I love
awesome.
that. That was a great story,
That's,
yeah.
that's better than any interruptions I've ever made on this podcast. That must have been so fun too. Like just be like one of the employees who's like, oh, I get to like be a bully for like the whole weekend, like in character as a Turk, like that. Because like
Yeah.
I feel like anytime I've put on a suit, I've felt like a Turk. And
100%, dude.
So-
100%.
so like that, like being able to take that to the next level and like being able to do that in that environment is so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
badass.
It was a moment, and I was probably the only person in the band that like noticed that level of it. I was like, "Oh, the detail is just amazing," because they were so stoked on all of it, you know. And I was fixating on that. That was so cool. I'm sorry. We continue with these.
No, that was
No,
great.
no, I
That
could
was
hear about that
fantastic.
all night. Seriously,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
that was really good. But yeah, so indeed, now I guess if we must move on, but Elena says, "Oh, thank you very much. I never thought you'd come." And Reno just goes, "Elena, don't act so weak. You're a Turk."
Yeah.
And she says, "Yes, sir."
Yeah, I like that too because it's like they were giving her a hard time and they keep saying like, "Oh, you're a Turk, like grow up and stuff." And like she was like, you know, she's in this like dangerous situation and she's like feeling bad about it, which she shouldn't. It's not her fault.
Right.
And they're just like, "Oh, stop. Don't worry about it. You're a Turk." Like,
Right. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like the way that they like when they are like, "Elena, what are you doing?" or whatever, they're always like, "No, you don't understand. You are one of the cool people. Like,
Yeah,
you
don't
are
have
the
to-
badass. You don't have to worry about it. Like, you don't need to become it.
You
are it.
You must no longer fake it, for you have made it.
Yeah, yeah, indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then Aerith thanks the Turks for their help. She says, "Thanks for your help." And Rude just says ... And Reno says, "Yes."
no, the phone rings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got a
Reno's
little-
phone rings. Yeah,
Yeah, he's got
his personal handy phone.
Yeah, his PHS goes off and he puts it to his ear and he says, "Yes, this is Reno. Yes. I'll get on it right away." And then Elena says, and Elena and Yuffie are still hanging upside
Yeah,
down,
they're
by
still
the
hanging
way,
upside
while all
down.
this is happening. And she says, "Was that the company?" And he says, "Yeah, they want us to find Cloud." And then like he just
Yeah.
looks over at Cloud and Cloud like gets into like a fighting pose. Like
Yeah, like, oh shit, we're getting ready to fucking go up against the Turks now.
Yeah, and then Rude says, "Are we on?" And Reno says, "No, today's our day off."
Yep. That's so good.
Which I just love that. They're like, "Hey, we work together." They easily have the upper hand here.
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
no materia. Like one of our party members is
Down, yeah.
like could easily take us over. And they're like,
He's like,
"Nah,
no.
it's our day off."
Yeah, so day off. I love it.
It's like Dante and Clerks. It's my day off.
Yeah.
I'm not even supposed to be here.
And I like that Yuffie just interrupts and is like, "Hey, who cares about that? Get me down."
Hell yeah.
And we go right back to Yuffie's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like Yuffie's doing the most hilarious animation where she's like cartoonishly warping around the room and like putting everybody's materia back on them.
There's like mechanical sounds too. Like
It's
she's like,
Yeah.
like she's like in a pit stop like of a NASCAR thing,
Yeah,
just
it's
like
kind of
putting
what
the
it's
tires
like.
on.
Yeah. I love it. And she finally goes, "Oh, phew, perfect. Now the materia is back in its rightful place." And Cloud says, "Hey, the order's all messed up." And Yuffie goes, "Oh, it'll be all right. Don't be so picky." And before we go on with the dialogue, just to, like, I'll just say it here. The materia's all fucked up.
Yeah, it's like nothing like what we had
Yeah,
before.
when you go to your menu, it's all just entirely random. Like Cloud had like 5 summons on him, and he had like different members had like attachment materia, like ones that go with other materia.
Yeah, like
just
elemental,
like
just-
elemental, just in a single slot by itself. And I'm just like, Yuffie, damn it,
I wonder if in the
that's so funny.
I just realized I forgot to switch it back today when I was doing the next section.
Really,
Oh, man.
I wonder if they like prioritize like which like, oh, this is a paired materia, so put it in a slot that's that'd be really funny. Or if it's just like
yeah.
straight random and they just, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be funny if they like prioritized it to make it even more
Worse.
comical.
Yeah, it's really funny though. She's like, there you go, everything back the way it was.
Oh yeah.
I got a jelly bean in mine.
I got a rock. And then Yuffie says, "Anyways, that was close. No, you know what? Normally I would kick their butts. Boom, bang. That Corneo guy's a real pain. I'd rather deal with my dad than that guy."
Yeah.
And then, like, while she's talking, Cloud and everybody else just leave. They're just like, all right.
Yeah, she's like looking off in the distance because when she was like, "Yeah, I would have kicked their butt," she's like shadow boxing.
Yeah,
and
she's
stuff.
shadowboxing and looking the other direction, assuming that everybody's listening to her. And
Yeah.
then the whole party just leaves the room while she's talking.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Just like the beginning.
Yeah, and she's
Yep.
like, "You know, some of those Turks guys are pretty good, huh? At least after all that, we got all the materia back. Now, come on, everybody, let's continue our journey."
Yeah,
and then she
turns
turns around
around
and the room is empty.
Yeah, she goes, "Hey, wait." She goes, "Oh, all right, I'll give this to you guys." And she runs around behind like some paper walls and grabs an MP absorb materia for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, "Come on, wait. No matter what you think, I'm going with you." And she like runs off after us. And then we get like a little, like there's a pause and another dialogue box pops up for her and says ... next time ...
Yeah.
And I was
she's-
like, Yuffie.
Always scheming.
I know, it's so good.
And what's great about that too is like we just got that MP absorb materia from the shop, and then she
Yeah.
hopped down and stole it from us, and then like she gave us back all our materia, but tried to keep that one.
Yeah. That's so good.
It's great.
So that's the end of that side quest, but not the end of the episode.
Yeah.
We got a little bit more.
But wait, there's more.
Part 1, the cat house. You can now go back into the house with all the cats and get an HP absorb materia in there.
Oh shit, I didn't do that.
Wah, wah.
I gotta go and do that.
Well,
We're
you're
going to do
about
that
to now.
right now on the show.
Oh, yeah, I should.
Gonna pet those cats.
Pet them cats.
Yeah. And the other thing we can do is finally go to that 5-story pagoda.
Yeah, we can also go to the weapons shop.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's got a lot of really good weapons.
Shit.
Most of the weapons were better than what I had.
Yeah.
And the person you talked to who earlier says like, oh, all these, they're fakes. That's right, they're fakes or
Yeah.
whatever. He says, listen, I'm sorry about last time. Yuffie told me not to sell anything to you.
That's awesome.
It's
I like
so
how
good.
they're like, they like stick with it. They're like, yeah, we could probably make money for this, but I'm gonna
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna
I
help
know.
out the homie.
Yeah.
She said not to, so I'm gonna help her out.
Right. But you're right. We can do the pagoda now, right?
Yeah.
We can go to the pagoda. So we had that NPC earlier telling us about like, oh, the 5 gods of the pagoda or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Protect
All the way
Wutai.
up to Omni.
All the way up to Omni, right?
Yeah.
And so we gotta have Yuffie in your party to do this side
yeah,
quest.
and if
this
you
is a
try to-
whole different side quest, by the way. This is not part of what we just did. This is just another side quest that we can do
Yeah.
while we're here.
This is the Elite Four.
Yeah, it
Pretty
really
much.
is.
Yeah, pretty much exactly.
You fight Gary on the top.
Lance is there.
Yeah.
Lorelai.
Lance is there. Lorelei's there. And
Bruno.
Bruno.
Yeah.
Who's the other
Oh,
one?
man.
Agatha.
Agatha? Is that in Generation 1? I think you're right. I
Yeah,
think you're
the
right.
ghost
Yeah.
trainer.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the Elite Four.
Hell yeah. We did it.
We did it.
Bye.
All right. See you later. This has been every FNFF. See y'all next week.
That's it. We beat Final Fantasy VII.
we did it.
Then we enter our party into the Hall of Fame Pokedex. And
And if you have the Game Boy printer, you can print out your party.
right. And if you pick up your game where you left off, we can go get Mewtwo.
And Mew is under the truck. But if you came to this pagoda earlier while you were searching for Yuffie, if you try to go up, the guy there says like freeze, like only people from Wutai can go up here.
Right.
And if you you can say like, oh, we're from Wutai, and he's like, oh, I hate liars.
Oh.
Or you can say no, and he's like, yeah, just get out of the tower. So you can't do anything here until you have Yuffie back in your party.
Yeah.
And then come here with Yuffie.
Yeah. So yeah, we come in and there's just this one guy in like green robes on the base floor, and he says, "Oh, Miss Yuffie, will you be climbing the pagoda today?" And I like, I guess we'll get to it, but I like the idea of like you have to climb it multiple times to get to the top. Like, oh, you're gonna climb it today? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you like were at the top but you left your car keys, you'd have to like come back in and then do all the battles again to come up.
I was kind of hoping that would be the thing because they have a lot of AP here. So I was like, oh, if I could just keep doing the first fight over and over again, that'd be a good way.
Right, right.
But I think like when you do beat it, you can just progress up, even if you like leave. Because I did leave to like rest at one point.
Okay, so this the first person's name is Sacred Gorky.
Yeah,
It's like such a good name.
which is so goofy, especially because like you were saying, like this is a sacred like place for the people of Wutai.
Right.
And you go in there and it's like, oh, cool, are you climbing the pagoda today? And then his name is Sacred Gorky.
Sacred Gorky. He says, then I, Sacred Gorky, will be your opponent on the first floor.
It's me, Divine Dingus.
And it's cool because, like, so this pagoda climbing exercise is just a Yuffie thing, right?
Yeah.
You just play as Yuffie, and, like, the other party members that you have will step back when she's talking to everybody. So they, like, remain silent and just stay in the corners of the room.
Yeah.
But they, like, square up to fight, and somebody runs down from the second floor. It's like this little kid. Do you think it's a little girl or a little boy?
I think it's a little girl.
I couldn't tell.
She's got like her hair up in like a kind of like Princess Leia, Sailor Moon sort of bun.
Okay,
things.
all right. But yeah, so this little girl runs down and says, "Yo, they call me Shake. I'll be watching your fight with Gorky." And Gorky says, "Then begin power change." And like you were saying, Adam, they all have like an attribute, I guess, and this is power. And so we're gonna fight the power guy.
Yeah, so we got to fight the power guy.
Yeah, who is a fucking flying devil man.
Yeah, which is an enemy that you can encounter like on the world map, but it's like a beefed up version of that. And
Okay.
that's pretty much like every enemy that is in this pagoda is like just kind of a more powerful version of enemies that are also in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
And do we want to talk about? Did you notice anything weird about Gorky in battle?
I don't think so.
So let me ask you this: how is Gorky spelled?
Oh yeah, no, I did notice that. Yeah, so instead of it being Gorky, which is like when we talk to him, it's Gorky.
Yep.
This one is Gorky, Gorky E. I guess because it's like Kawaii.
Yeah.
Because it's got two I's at the end.
It's Gorkii is how you spell his name.
Kawaii Gorky. Yeah.
So every fight in the pagoda, all of the enemies can be poisoned.
Oh, nice.
All of them. Yep. So I had elemental added effect and poison,
Nice.
and just
Just
kept getting
destroying
them.
them.
Kept getting them every time. And they're not too bad. Most of them you can just kind of plow through them.
Yeah, they can be difficult, and it's one-on-one Yuffie versus them.
Right.
So you need to kind of get strategic with it, like Curtis was saying, with like the added materia or whatever. I tried using gravity here because that's kind of been my go-to thing with like the TS bombs.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work on Gorky. I think it works on everyone else, but
Okay.
on Gorky it doesn't. So
It's got some interesting features to it too. In all 5 of these fights, Yuffie's first attack does double damage.
oh wow.
It's weird. I don't know why, but it just does. And there's no front row or back row when you're using Yuffie either.
Yeah, exactly.
It's-
So
you're
it's just one-on-one.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
Yep. So yeah, so it's neat. I mean, like I said, nothing really too
Yeah,
big
so I don't
about
think
this
we have
guy.
to talk too much about the battles themselves. They can be tough. If you get a game over, it doesn't like end your game. Like Yuffie just stays at like 0 HP, but then you can go to her dad's house and rest there,
Right.
and just go and try the next fight.
Yeah.
So there can be some trial and error. On this, because I was like short with time for this section,
Yeah.
I definitely used the cheat to just like make myself invincible.
Because you were too busy watching me stream FF8 last night.
Yep, exactly.
And you were like, I'm trying to do Wutai.
Yeah,
And I
I
kept
was like, I'm
talking
trying to
you.
wrap this up.
Yeah. But yeah.
I need to watch you fight the XATM for the
again.
4th time.
Yeah. So after you beat him, Gorky says, "Here I am, Miss Yuffie," which it's a very odd thing
Yeah, I love
to
that.
say afterwards. And she says, "Of course," which every time you beat somebody in the tower and they say something afterwards, Yuffie just goes, "Of course." That's like the thing that she
Oh, I didn't
says.
notice that. That's
Yeah.
really good.
And Shake on the side, and this is why I thought maybe Shake was a little boy, but it could be a girl.
Yeah.
But she says, I thought you were just a girl, but you handled that pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe it's a little boy, because
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could be either way.
yeah.
But she says, "Let's see how you do on the next one," and that's it for that, right? And so you get to run up.
Yeah, you
to
just
the
go up
second
the
floor.
stairs to the next floor.
Yep. And you talk to Shake.
I love the back and forth between Shake and Yuffie.
Oh, it's so good. Yuffie says, "Who's next?"
Yeah, and
went the wrong way.
Shake says, "Are you blind? I'm right here." And Yuffie says, "What? I gotta fight a punk?" and Shake says, "Heh, punk. I'm more of an adult than some bimbo girl."
Yeah, I know. And she says, "What did you say?" And Shake says, "You see what I mean? That kind of anger is what makes you so immature. Don't pat yourself on the back until you beat me."
Yeah, and Yuffie says, "Now watch." And then
So we get an option
yeah,
at the end of the dialogue for each fight to fight them or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that it changes each dialogue box changes. right?
exactly. Yeah. So Shake's is about the only thing you do really good is breathe. Are you sure you want to
Burn.
fight? And you can either say "stop yapping" to start the fight, or you can say "I'll forgive you."
I'll forgive you. It's so good. Yeah, and then we go into fight. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Somebody comes down from the 3rd floor. So just like Shake comes down from the 2nd floor to watch our fight with Gorky, we hear somebody say, so somebody finally got past Gorky. I guess it's Chekhov's turn. And this dude Chekhov comes downstairs from the 3rd floor to watch our fight with Shake.
Yeah.
And then Shake says, "Here I go, brat, speed change."
Yeah, yeah.
And Shake is a fucking penguin.
Yeah, it's like the pen enemy.
Yeah. And so it said speed change, but Shake did not attack me for the first 3 turns.
Yeah, I'm not
yeah.
sure what that's about, especially because was
I
speed
plowed through.
was speed one of the gods that was mentioned in the bar?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Thank you, Adam.
It was speed, power, magic, and Omni.
Omni. Okay, cool.
Speed, power, magic, Omni, and one other one.
Cool, that makes
But yeah.
sense.
Yeah, which we'll get to.
So this is the speed fight, yeah, which
Yeah.
you can attack.
Isn't that fast?
yeah, it's
even.
not like a super quick attack each time.
Yeah, I just held attack through the whole thing and just
Mm-hmm.
won. So I don't know what else to say about Shake.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
too much.
So you beat Shake. Shake says, "Ugh, so you can fight a bit." And Yuffie again says, "Of course." Who is God? There's some other Simpsons joke I'm trying to think of now, where like somebody like kept saying different things, and the person goes, like every time. What am I thinking of? We can cut this out if we. I can't think of it. But, like,
Oh man, I can't think of it either.
Okay, so we beat Shake, and as soon as we beat Shake, we're able to go upstairs, right?
Yeah, and also according to the wiki, Shake is a he. So
Is it okay?
did not mean to misgender.
I like how you said Shake's a he, and I immediately said, "Is it?" Okay,
Oh no,
I know. Damn it. I'm
not intended.
getting rid of myself now. Like, all right. So we go upstairs, and now we're gonna fight Chekhov. So Chekhov says, "So even Shake's been defeated. It's been a while." Oh, wait, hold on. Am I wrong?
No. So this is a weird thing. So when you're right after you beat Shake. This threw me off in my screenshots too, but Chekhov says, "Ho ho ho! It's been a while since I felt pain," and then walks upstairs in a way of to be like, "Oh, no one's gotten this high in a while.
Yeah, okay.
Now it's my turn to fight. It's been a while since I felt pain."
Yeah.
And then you go upstairs, and that's when Chekhov says, "So even Shake's been defeated. It's been a while since you had to fight a."
No,
Chekhov."
see, you got that wrong too. We both got it wrong.
Wait, what the?
Do you want to start
Oh,
over?
no.
Should we start over? I know
'cause
exactly who it was.
No, it's the next person coming
The
down.
next
'Cause
person comes down
I don't
the
think we have to
stairs.
start that over because this is
Okay.
a confusing thing, but
It is. Okay. To be
You got to pay
clear.
attention to who's talking.
Yeah, to be clear, every time you go up to the next floor, you go talk to the person that you're going to fight, and then somebody comes down from the floor above them to watch.
Yeah, and you like stand at like the other side of the room, and your teammates like stand behind you, and you get ready to fight, and then the next person on the floor above comes down.
Right. So somebody else comes down from the fourth floor and says, "So even Shake's been defeated. It's been a while since you've had to fight a Chekhov." And
Yeah.
Chekhov says, "Unfortunately, this is as far as it goes. Staniv, you watch from over there."
Yeah,
And Yuffie says, "That ain't gonna happen. I'll teach you about the strength of youth."
I love that.
I know. And Chekhov says, "Keep mouthing off like that, little girl, and you're gonna get burned." And your two options are, "I got insurance," which
Oh,
is
so
good.
good.
Or, "Let's get this over, you old geese." And
Well,
like I got it.
I've got to say, like, I'm curious who her insurance provider is.
Which one sponsors podcasts?
Does she love
then
her
it's that
health
one.
care?
I mean,
Yeah.
is she on the grid, or is she just like? I mean, she's running through the woods. You got to have insurance.
Yeah, you might get some sticky briars on your legs.
I don't know. Is Shinra on deep big pharma as well?
I'm 100% sure that fucking Shinra is involved in pharmaceuticals and insurance. They absolutely are.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Definitely.
the best way to get health in this game is through materia.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway.
Chekhov says, "Ho ho ho! We'll see if you still talk like that after you taste some of my sacred magic." And says, "Magic change," and we go into a fight with Chekhov, which is just the Vagrant police.
Yeah,
Like,
the Vagrid police thing
yeah.
with the just a different color.
yep.
And
And again, I rolled through.
Yeah, this
Chekhov.
one I feel like was pretty easy. I think it's pretty funny in the wiki here on fandom.
Yeah.
It says that he is supposed to represent magic, but does not often use magic.
Yeah, it's very weird.
In the same vein of like the speed thing, like
Yeah. It doesn't they use drain? I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And they like
Yeah.
drain MP from you.
they drain. Which like you
Who cares?
right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's another translation issue. Let me call Corey again.
No.
So they give you an ice ring. Chekhov says, "I can't believe you beat me." And Yuffie, "Of course."
Yes.
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 My voice cracked. Oh,
Staniv says, "This should be interesting. It's been too long since I've had a chance to use my full power." So we go up to the next floor, talk to Staniv. Staniv says, "The rule is the best fighter on each floor will be your opponent. This is a 5-storied pagoda, but the 4th floor is the highest. In other words, no one has ever defeated me, the master of weaponry."
In other words, we are the elite four.
Yeah. And says, "Do you still want to try?" And your options are, "Just come on," or "I'll pass." And Staniv says, "I like you. Now watch. Weapon change." And Staniv is just one of those golems swinging the
chain ball
the
thing.
chain ball, yeah.
swinging my chain.
And Staniv is like the first one that like can actually dish out a little bit of damage. I don't think too threatening again.
Yeah.
But like, is putting out some damage, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And on Gorky, I actually learned Yuffie's second Limit Break,
Nice.
which is
Blood Feast?
Bloodfest.
Fest. Yeah,
God, which
Bloodfest.
is what a fucking badass name.
Hell yeah.
Bloodfest.
That's a really good limit too, because
Awesome.
you just like continually attack one opponent. So in this fight, it's like perfect.
It's her Omni Slash.
I was using that for this fight because like before getting here, I did like just a little bit of limit grinding, like because I haven't used Yuffie too much, and I had that already. And I actually learned an interesting thing about the limit breaks too. If you only do the thing where you're killing enemies, you can just get the first of each level.
Yeah, you don't have to get
one,
the
2,
second
and
one.
3. Yeah,
Yep.
so
Yep.
that's pretty great.
Yeah. So we get an elixir for beating Staniv, and Staniv says, "What?" And again, Yuffie, of course.
Of course.
Yes. And then, so this is kind of like different. The other members we've defeated up to this point start coming up the stairs, and Gorky says, "Splendid, you definitely have improved." Shake says, "Oh, you're not as much of a child as we thought you were." And Chekhov says, "Of course, if we lost to her." And then Staniv says, "You've defeated 4 of our best, but now you will have to face him from the Powerpuff Girls."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I was not prepared for this cameo.
Speaking of the S word, the shit word.
The shit word.
When we go up to the 5th floor of the pagoda, so Lord Godo, Yuffie's father, is the one up there, right?
The shit.
Yeah, the shit. And the other 4 pagoda fighters come up as well, and they stand in the different 4 corners of the room. And all of them just say ... except for Shake.
Shake.
Who just says shh, like they're gonna say shit. Like,
Shake is actually Master Shake.
man.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh,
I should have.
good.
I wish I thought of that sooner, so I could have tried to do like an impersonation of Master Shake in his lines.
And Yuffie goes, "Dad," and Godo says, "I'm glad you made it this far, Yuffie." She says, "Why are you?" And Godo says, "I'll answer you by having you try your skills against me. Hold nothing back. Come as if you were trying to kill me. If you don't, then I'll have to kill you."
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, holy shit. Yuffie says, "Hey," and Godo like just runs at her and goes, "What are you doing? Omni change!"
Oh yeah.
And we are in a fight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and this one is real difficult, and this is the only one that is like a unique boss. Like
Right.
this isn't a reskinned earlier boss.
Right.
Do you want to try and explain?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, Godo is kind of the battle character. The model is like a humanoid kind of a individual in like a red, like loose red martial arts clothing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of doing like a dance the whole time.
I feel like
right?
very traditional Japanese kind of like.
Right. And has 3 heads. It's like 1 head but 3 faces.
Yeah,
on-
almost like different masks that kind of like circle around. Like
Yeah, and
the-
they
like-
spin around.
Like the mayor of Halloween Town in a.
Yeah, except 3 of them. Yeah.
I think this actually changes their battle style, right?
it does.
Yeah, so
Yep.
there's like the human form, the beast form, and according to the fandom, the cheater form.
The cheater form.
Yeah, yeah.
They have 4 arms too. It looks like, right?
Yes.
Total. Two
I
of them
think
are
so.
2 of them are holding weapons.
Yeah.
2 of them are just bare doing
Okay.
magic shit.
Yeah, so this is the first one that actually looks kind of like a god, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, which I get, maybe that's why it's like Godo.
He's doing a jig.
Yeah. Oh,
or it's
maybe.
like God-O.
It could be.
And maybe
Yeah.
that's why I have such a hard time thinking of that in the correct pronunciation.
You know, I bet the cheater one they're talking about is the healing face, just because it heals so much.
Yeah,
Cheats death.
Yeah. So this time I didn't have much of an issue with it, but the first time I fought Godo, Godo kept using Cure 2, and will constantly use Cure 2 once you get them down past a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
And Yuffie just did not have the attack power needed to be able to do over 1,300 damage.
yeah.
And so I was just like, that's it for me or whatever. I can't do anything. But I did then what I knew to do this time, which was just immediately I cast Bio 2 and
Yeah.
just poisoned them immediately. And they're also weak to Demi, like you were saying earlier.
Yep.
So I just cast Demi, and I only had the first one, but still did like 3,000 damage.
Yeah, I'm looking at a screenshot that I have in this fight, and I used a TS bomb, and it did 4,994 damage. So I was like,
Oof.
okay, this is fine.
Yeah, yeah. So you can get him down easy that way. And he has some attacks that like They're not too bad. He can put you to sleep.
He has one attack.
Oh,
that we should talk about.
Yeah,
which I didn't get again.
I didn't get, but I equipped an enemy skill, so I could get it. He just never used it.
Yep. So he uses Trine, which we've talked about a few times. It's
once.
like the third form of like Beta Aqualung. It's the lightning
version.
one.
Yep. Which, if you have a bolt ring, which you could have at this point, you could just absorb it.
Yeah.
And not have to deal with it. It is his most powerful attack, though. Is Trine.
Yeah, absolutely. He didn't use it on me at all, and I also forgot to equip the enemy skill anyway.
I equipped the enemy skill Materia and just forgot. Or not forgot, he just didn't use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I poisoned him, and so once he got down to the point where he was using Cure 2, I just kept parrying. And I also had counterattack on. So if you counterattack, it doesn't actually trigger his Cure.
Yeah. So counterattack was like pretty much the only way I got through this, I feel like, because, I was dealing out like 2 hits each time Yuffie was up. Yeah.
Yeah. I did get a Bloodfest on this one as well.
Hell yeah.
Bloodfest!
Bloodfest! You gotta use that riff again.
Yeah.
Alex.
So when you beat
the
him...
butt rock riff.
Yeah. Butt rock riff.
When you beat him, you get the All Creation, which is Yuffie's final limit break item.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Already got it. As we have 3 now.
Yeah, the
Red,
Aerith, and Yuffie.
Yeah, awesome.
The Cosmo Memory Great Gospel.
Great Gospel.
Yeah.
And the All Creation.
Hell yeah.
So after the battle, they're both just like laid out on the floor. Godo and Yuffie both.
Just breathing heavily.
Yeah, they're both breathing heavily. Like they've been really going at it and just trying to take each other down,
Yeah, Godo says huff puff, and Yuffie says heave heave.
Yeah, she says old coot, not bad.
and he says you've also improved. And Yuffie starts to laugh, like kind of broken, like ha 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 ha.
Yeah, and he
like
goes,
with ellipses
he
and
goes,
stuff.
heh. And then they both just
start laughing.
Yeah, like super hard laughing.
Oh, so in the script, there's some fun things. So if you fail and come back, Yuffie says, "I'll show you this time, you old fartmeister."
Fartmeister.
Oh, that's incredible.
Nice. Sick burn.
Yeah, got him.
Yeah, and again, like this fight.
she, if you lose a third time, she comes back and goes, "Time for the urn."
Yeah, like in the wiki when it's talking about this, like in each of these pages, they say losing to this boss does not prompt a game over, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
But in this one, it says, and Yuffie will not pose if she wins.
Yeah.
So she doesn't do like the victory fanfare when beating her father.
Right.
It's pretty interesting.
So they both stand back up. Godo says, "It's time I gave this to you, Yuffie. It's the Leviathan Materia.
Oh, yeah.
Take it." Which I think Leviathan is supposed to be the god that protected Wutai.
Yeah, the one
right?
that the guy was talking about. I think the water god.
Yeah. So like, given what we know about Materia and Mako energy and the life stream and stuff, I think this is the god that protected Wutai. Like
I think it's the snake, actually. I mean,
well, that's what they say. They said there was a water god in the form of a snake
that
protected Wutai. And I think that like again, like judging that Materia eventually is the life stream, and the life stream is made of souls. I get the idea that this is the soul of the water god.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I took away from it. Yeah,
and I think that it's also important to think about it in terms of like, we know that Shinra manufactures materia, or like what they manufacture, like a byproduct of it is materia.
Yeah.
But we also know that there's the naturally occurring materia.
Yeah.
So I feel like all the summons, or at least the Leviathan one, is a naturally occurring one, because it's just this like god entity in materia forms. Like I don't think that it's like the Shinra has created this.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, especially because of the history between Shinra and Wutai.
Right. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So after you get the materia, Staniv says, "But Lord Godo, Leviathan materia should only be given to the person who conquers and takes over this pagoda. That is our custom." And then Yuffie says, "Custom, custom, custom. I'm so sick of hearing that. It's so stupid."
And Gorky's like, "Silence, Miss Yuffie."
Yeah, and she's like, "Then what about all of you? With all your power, are you satisfied being cooped up in this tower?"
Yeah, Godo says, "Yuffie."
Yeah, and she says, "You too, Dad. Just because you lost the war, you turned Wutai into a place like this." Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
And then Chekhov says, "What do you mean?" And she said, "You turned Wutai into a cheesy resort town peddling to tourists. How dare you? The Chow statue and Leviathan are ashamed."
Yeah, and he just says ... He's like kind of taking it in. And Shake says, "She is a kid."
Yeah.
Yuffie's like, "What did you say?"
Yeah.
And Godo interrupts them fighting and says, "Yuffie, Forgive me. It's all of my fault. And, the other four are like, oh, no. And Gorky goes, what are you saying, Lord Godo? And Godo says, losing the war, turning Wutai into this, it was all my fault. And Chekhov, Lord Godo, no. And he goes, silence. Yuffie, I am the same now as I was before when I wanted war. But after losing, I began to think, is strength for beating enemies or something to just show off? Might begets might, same as the Shinra.
I like that a lot, the might begets might.
Yeah.
Very biblical, I feel like.
Yeah. He says, I knew you were looking for materia for the good of Wutai, but the reason I hide my strength now is also for the good of Wutai. And now I realize both are necessary. Strength without determination means nothing, and determination without strength is equally useless.
Real Undertale hours here.
Yeah. He talks to Cloud, and he says, you there, please take Yuffie with you. I perceive that you all have both determination and strength. And, different characters have different things they say to it. I had Vincent, and he goes, you may come if you want.
Tifa just said,
who made you leader, Vincent?
Yeah.
We just learned about your fucking dark incel.
We've been friends with Yuffie way longer than we've been friends with you, dude.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Tifa, she just says, after that, how can we refuse?
Yeah.
And then, Cloud says, all right, I don't mind.
Yeah. Godo says, go, Yuffie, for the sake of Wutai. She says, Dad. It's very touching.
Yeah.
And Godo says, I'll take care of the 5 sacred gods until you return. Go and come back alive.
Yeah, I love that line.
And she just says, duh.
Yeah, there's
go ahead.
There's so much serious tone in his voice to be like, go and come back alive. And she's like, duh.
Yeah,
oh,
I know,
shit, I'm
it's
gonna
so
do that.
good.
And then everyone kind of starts slowly one by one walking out of the room.
Yeah, around the corners.
And
of it.
Yuffie just kind of stays standing in front of her father. And then when everyone else is out of the room, Yuffie starts walking. And then Godo says, Yuffie, wait a minute. And he runs over to her, and I think the Stolen Materia song starts up again after. Yeah. And Godo says, after their battle is over, do you think they'll still want all their materia? She goes, Dad!
Yeah, I know.
And he says, go!
Fight till the end!
But come back with the materia.
And she says, you bet.
Yep. So.
It's so good. And so the members of the pagoda will have slightly different things to say on the way down. I don't think most of them are too big or anything like that.
Yeah.
They're mostly just platitudes. Shake says, you say there's some unusual materia where the underground pipe is. Well, first you got to get it from a monster. And unless you use your head, you won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are they talking about? Underground pipe?
I think it's something that we haven't gotten to yet because there is one more area where we got the Dragoon Lance that we still can't get to just now. And there's part later.
Is there a pipe there?
There's something underground.
Is in a mountain underground?
No, but we have to go somewhere first to get an item that allows us to come back here later.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So
you think that's what she's talking about?
I that's the only thing I can make sense of.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. That's all my fault. I think that's the only thing that makes sense to me about it.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's all we got in Wutai.
Yeah.
Y'alls.
Yeah.
What about you, Adam?
I had a great time in Wutai.
Yeah,
great time.
Hell yeah.
Are we gonna go? We're gonna take a vacation and go to the Turtle Paradise, and all of us.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we fight the gentrification in Wutai and we go and see what it's really about.
I like
see
it.
what the fuck is really going on in Wutai.
I like it.
None of that tourist shit.
Yo,
That's right.
What is Checkers called in other places?
Is that Hardee's?
Is it
no,
Hardee's?
That's Carl's Jr. I think.
God damn it! I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what we'll do. We'll go to Wutai and look for a girl's.
Let me
I
go to
couldn't
the.
even say that without laughing because that's the suckiest thing I could imagine. It's all right, we're here on vacation. Let's find a Carl's Jr., baby.
There's a Starbucks kiosk in every level of the pagoda.
Oh no! Oh man!
Let me check the Checkers fandom page. See what it's called in other regions.
How much HP each sandwich has? Oh my god, Adam! Thank you so much for being on today, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Yo,
Thanks
I
so
had
much.
fun, man. I would love to do it again if you guys will have me, man. It was a
Absolutely.
really good time because I love the show. I was telling the other hunks about it. I do. I listen to it all the time. So, and I've plugged it, and I'll continue to do so. But if you'll have me back, I'd be happy to be here.
Absolutely.
We would love to have you back.
You got anything coming up you want to talk about, or anything to peddle?
Yeah, actually, since Justin was on the show, we announced our last one for 2019. Night of the Round is performing in Orlando at Warriors of Light, which is the
Sick.
the fall Angaku Overdrive event. We're really, really excited about it. And the lineup is sick. It is Returners, Descendants of Erdrick,
Hell yeah.
Mega Ran,
Hell yeah.
and the boys. So that's going to be a heavy one. Rumor has it we may be debuting yet another Final Fantasy VII jammer at that one.
Oh, hell yeah.
We debuted the Shinra theme in Tennessee.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it slapped stupid extra dummy hard. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to play the one that everybody can't wait for us to play. I'll say that.
Okay. I wonder what it could be.
Donald
Yeah.
Duck's theme.
Honestly, I'm really, really excited about that though, because Descendants of Erdrick's playing on that, and like we haven't played with them in forever, but their guitarist Amanda, who's kind of like the big brain, she's the Andrew WK band member. That's
Yes.
really,
Yeah.
really cool. You know,
And
like
I think at Riot Fest, she was kind of wearing an interesting shirt.
Yeah, I
while
saw
playing
that.
With Andrew
yeah,
WK
yeah,
there,
she
right?
was repping the homies. She had
yeah.
her Night of the Round shirt on it.
Hell yeah.
I saw
Riot
it
Fest.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She always hooks it up, and I mean, I didn't get to go with those guys this year. Again, I betrayed my feminist roots and didn't see Bikini Kill, but I also missed Slayer, and that's because my wife is awesome. So
Hell yeah.
Aw.
Well, right on.
Yeah.
But I saw a very good Instagram story video of you and your wife out, and you zoomed in on a very cute dog,
Oh, yeah, that was
Yeah,
very good. I saw
man.
that as well.
and I was like,
dude, that
oh, who's
restaurant
man?
was sick. It's like this Cajun restaurant downtown Chicago, and it's like a dog friendly like patio area. So there were all kinds of crazy cute dogs out there while we were there. But yeah, shout out to my wife. Happy birthday, Christine.
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Christine.
Christine.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to
cool.
say?
No, I mean, I love this, man. Thank you for having me. Have me
Yeah,
back,
thank you for
please.
coming
I'd
on.
love to come back and crash another party.
Absolutely.
Well, next time we have a different guest on, we're gonna call you and get your
Seriously,
opinion on shit.
please do. I'd be so stoked.
And just have
I would
you
be
play a
so
Judas
stoked about it
Priest
to get
riff.
like a. Yeah, I will play guitar. It would be a very funny reoccurring theme. But if you guys ever want to do a Final Fantasy VII script table read,
yes,
fly out
absolutely,
to Philly for that.
absolutely.
I will legitimately fucking come.
We're
there.
coming up
You
with
guys.
like bonus feed ideas, and I think that would definitely be really
Yeah.
fun.
That
like,
would be really good.
production.
I'm super here for it. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'll put that in
Awesome,
the idea hole.
All right, Alex, you want to give us our?
What are we doing next week?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Next week we're gonna go back to the gold saucer. So we're gonna take the advice of the weapons maker who gave us the great gospel,
Yeah.
and go talk to Dio because he has purchased the key to the Temple of the Ancients.
Yeah.
Now,
You can just buy that.
well, I
Dio
guess.
can.
You don't have to like watch
Well,
the police
he's-
car and like, we grant you the key to the.
Well, the guy
Dio,
says.
have you heard Holy Diver? Come on.
The guy says he's like the guy I sold it to makes you feel like it would be a bad idea not to sell it to
Yeah,
him.
like
so
he
I think
didn't
it was
want
kind of
to, yeah.
intimidated into selling
Oh,
it. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so I think it is Ronnie James Dio. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's Ronnie James Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Absolutely.
I hate this.
Oreo James Dio.
Yeah, so we'll do that next time. And what I think is originally I was like, oh, well, we'll just be the gold saucer for a minute. Let's just go do the Temple of the Ancients as well. Let's not do that because there is a big important scene coming up that can go multiple ways. And I was like, we could pull an hour, 2 hours out of that. No problem.
Easily.
So we're just going to do the Return to the Gold Saucer next episode.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait to listen.
Yeah.
And I can't wait.
That's next week. Theme music is a remix by DJ Cutman. Feature music sprinkled throughout is by Nobuo Uematsu. Check the show notes for a link to the soundtrack. It's great. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. Give us 5 stars. Tell us what you think Sephiroth smells like. Eris or Aerith. Defend Cait.
You don't have to defend Cait Sith anymore. It's
Look,
done.
it's been done,
wait,
and
I have
it's
I have a
correct.
perspective. Sephiroth smells like patchouli for sure.
Hell yeah.
For sure. Because he's a fucking incel too, for sure.
100% he's an incel. He's a mama's boy.
What about
too.
Nanaki?
I mean,
what does he smell like?
probably
Yeah,
smells
what
like a
does that boy
dog,
smell?
dude.
I don't know.
I feel like he might smell like incense or like a campfire.
Does he
Oh, maybe.
does he bathe like a dog?
I think he bathes like a chinchilla and just rolls around in dirt. Dust.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, email us, and now on
Twitch, yeah.
every
Yeah.
F and FF.
That's right.
But yeah, check us out next week. Same F and time, same F and channel.
Yeah. All right, Carl, say one sentence real quick.
I found that.
This is the painkiller. This is the painkiller. On the podcast, we have Corey Ham It Up again. Oh. Oh.
How's it going, Corey? Oh, that's a sound.
Can he not hear us or something?
Corey? You there? Corey?
Are you still there, Adam?
I am.
Oh, dear.
I guess I am the podcast champion.
Are you hearing what we're hearing right now, Adam?
Nope.
Fucking.
What the fuck is happening?
Is Corey's line all wild or what?
I think we've stopped talking to Corey and we're talking to Hatsune Miku.
Huh.
What?
Curious.
Is he goofing you guys? Is he?
Maybe.
Are you guys getting goofed?
What? What? What is happening?
Oh my god.
I kind of love it. Like, I kind of love this is happening. And, like, I'm sorry, Adam. I really apologize that you can't hear it because it is ridiculous.
Corey.
Have fun editing this later, Alex. Okay, Adam, are you hearing this now?
I hear some dumb music in the background.
Okay, then you are hearing it.
He's just fucking playing guitar into his phone.
I think this is just the transaction we have to pay to get
Yeah.
any information out of.
Sick set, dude.
This is him trying to play the first song off this fucking Judas Priest album.
He was just talking about how we interrupted him learning this. This is what we get, I guess.
Fuck us, huh? I guess we deserve this. I was just like, I wasn't paying attention. I stopped for a second. I was like, wait, I fucking love Judas Priest.
Corey has left the call.
No shit, did he really?
What a power move.